Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Tyvis Powell, Jason Lloyd. Plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Oh, boy. Welcome, everyone, to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Along with G. Bush, Jason. No, I'm not going with that. Jason
Go ahead.
Lloyd.
Come on. What you got?
Jason, don't leave a tip, Lloyd.
Well, now you got to explain
Pause.
that.
And now we will explain. I'll explain in a second. And Tyvis Powell, welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Jason, like 45 seconds before we're about to go on air.
He's the best.
You know, we have these earpieces. I don't know if you can see them. Can we get the camera? Steve's busy doing something
Hold
else.
on. The camera
Anyway,
here's not
there's a little tiny, tip of the earpiece that we wear when we're doing the show. And as Jason's putting on his earpiece, the little tip fell off, and Tyvis and I both saw it. And then all of a sudden it disappeared.
It's gone.
And so 45 seconds before the show, we're picking up chairs. Everybody's moving their legs. I don't know what happened.
Anthony brought me another one. I said, I only need the tip, just the tip.
And then G said something right before we went on air, and Tyvis and I just looked at each other like, oh, boy. So we're off to a wacky start. I don't know what's going on behind the glass. Steve's standing up. Mike's standing up. Anthony doesn't know what's happening.
It's a mess back here. The webcam looks like it may have died on us. Oh, it's back.
Yeah, all right. So
Does it have my tip in it?
we're going to find – it's going to be end up in the vent or something. I don't know.
Like confetti. It's
With
just
the
gonna
confetti,
come
yeah. I don't know what's going on. But we got a lot to get to today. We got a guest coming in quick from Dallas with another preview. We've been obviously previewing the matchup, which should be an exciting game between the Cowboys and the Browns. Bernie Kosar is going to be in studio with us later, and Aditi Kinkhabwala later. We think we have finally solved her internet problems that caused the constant breaking up when she's been on recently. So we think we figured that out. First, we go to Mikey McNuggets.
Yeah, we got the camera working. We are back. We are good, and we're excited to bring you guys a big show. We are 2 hours of Browns talk tomorrow. Then it is game weekend, guys. Week 1 is finally here. And we're going to kick off today's show.
One other thing, Mike, that we got to note, because I don't know if we've mentioned this yet.
On Monday?
On Monday. Have we mentioned it? I don't think we did.
Not yet, nope.
So on Monday's show, which is obviously the first show in a long time after a real football game, not preseason, we are going extra time. In the beginning, we've never really done this. We've started the show early and then ended early. But on Monday, we're doing a 2.5-hour show. We're starting at 10:30, and we're going to our normal time at 1 o'clock. What's that?
Lay hands on my bladder. Pray for my bladder.
Yeah, that's right.
Stop drinking before
anything. So anyway, so make sure you're with us early on Monday at 10:30. By the way, Dustin Fox on only his second show pulling it early. Jason Lloyd had to run off the set during an interview to go to the bathroom.
It's an adjustment.
Really?
Yeah.
It's an adjustment.
Not having that commercial break.
When you're used to going 18 minutes and then taking a break,
That's right.
2 hours is a long haul, baby.
All right, let's go to our first guest and send it to Mikey.
We're going to bring our guest in after a quick word from FanDuel. You guys have heard us talk a lot about FanDuel. We know it's America's #1 sportsbook, and right now they have a little something different for you guys. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to download America's #1 sportsbook. And now we're going to welcome in Clarence Hill to the show. He covers the Cowboys. He's newly part of the All-City Dallas DLLS network, which is part of Tegna's network, which means he's kind of within the family, Clarence. So appreciate you coming on to hang out with us today and break down this Week 1 primetime Cowboys-Browns matchup.
Thanks for having me, guys. How you guys doing? Y'all look comfortable? Y'all look ready to go there, sitting on that couch?
We are certainly ready. We are certainly ready. And we're all about done. We've been talking about what's going to happen this season for months, Clarence, as you know it. We're ready to watch some real football. I can't wait. But before we get to the specific matchup, I'm curious. when it comes to Jerry Jones, because I have always been critical of Jerry Jones. I give, fair or not, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I have never given him credit for when the Cowboys won in the 90s. To me, that was all Jimmy Johnson putting that team together. That may be unfair, but I never gave him any credit. And I feel like since he kicked Jimmy Johnson to the curb, they've been good consistently, but they haven't done anything in the playoffs. So I'm curious, is that fair? And how would you grade Jerry Jones as an owner, and how would you grade him as a GM?
Well, first of all those things are true. And you're right. Jimmy Johnson should get a lot of credit, but Jerry should get credit for hiring Jimmy.
True.
And Jerry should get credit for allowing Jimmy to be Jimmy.
That's
to do
true.
what Jimmy does. You know, that those were the decisions he made. He fired Tom and went and got Jimmy. So you can't parse the two. You know,
That's fair.
as far as that success in the 90s, and certainly since the 90s, I mean, you know, there's only one constant, and it's been Jerry Jones. But as an owner, you know, he's top notch, and he's a Hall of Famer as an owner, and what he's done for the league. There's no question about that. We can go all day about his GM capabilities. Certainly, if you read the story a couple weeks ago that I wrote, he had used a lot of F-bombs and said he's never not going to be the GM, and nobody can F and do the job better than him. And certainly that's certainly how he believes his reputation as a GM. But yeah, the buck stops with him. He has to be accountable for the lack of success, but so do the players, so do the coaches. I mean, I go back to 2006 when Tony Romo dropped that snap in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Jerry's fault?
No. Certainly not.
I mean, at some point, players have to rise up and take their place as champions, which the Cowboys did in 1992. I mean, they weren't supposed to win in 92. And certainly you're going to give Jimmy credit, but Michael and Emmett and Troy and those guys rose up and said, we're ready to win now. And at some point, you know, he's spent a lot of money on players. He's paid players and the like, and paid coaches, but the players have to show up and step up when it matters most. Was it Jerry's fault that the Cowboys laid an egg against Green Bay last year when they had a 12-5 record, when they had home field advantage in the greatest stadium in the league and the fan base behind them, and they let upstart Green Bay Packers come in and blow their doors off 48-32? You know, was that Jerry with Michael Parsons, who's by all accounts one of the best passers in the league, only has one playoff sack? At some point, the players got to get it done. You know, we can. You know, it's easy to blame Jerry, and we should blame Jerry because he's the owner and GM, and he puts the players on the field. But if he's good enough to GM a 12-5 team, now he's the reason why they don't perform in the playoffs. I just don't know how that works.
Well, speaking of getting it done, let's talk about the quarterback, Dak Prescott, because obviously, you know, this could potentially be his last year. One, do you want them to re-sign Dak, or are you comfortable with them moving on? And two, what do you expect to see out of Dak Prescott this year?
Well, first of all, Dak is playing the best football of his career. I think the light has come on for him. He certainly played his best season last year, and he's only going to be better the second year of Mike McCarthy's offense. You know, 36 led the league with 36 touchdown passes. Look at the quarterback rate. Look where he stands. There's no question he's seeing it, and I've watched it in practice. He's seeing it better than he's ever seen it. The Cowboys have no choice to re-sign Dak. You know, and we can talk about, again, the playoff success like a playoff success, but they have no plan B. They have no plan B. Let's be honest about it. They have no quarterbacks on the contract for next year. There's no path, because they're going to be a pretty good team this year. There's no path for them to have a top 5 pick. And even if you get a top 5 pick, there's no guarantee that a top 5 pick, and we've seen quarterbacks fill in the draft. You in Cleveland know very well that drafting a quarterback high does not guarantee you a franchise quarterback. If anybody knows that, people in Cleveland know that. After all the quarterbacks you've had over the last 2 years, you know, you can't guarantee that. And Dak Prescott is a top 10, top 7 quarterback in this league, by all accounts, by all measurable statistics.
You know, we talk about it a lot when we look at the Cleveland Browns about the quarterback position. Deshaun Watson played against the Cowboys, I believe, once and won one game when he played with the Texans. What is the consensus about Deshaun and the Cleveland Browns and what they bring to the table down in Dallas as you guys come into this football game?
Well, I mean, personally, I'm still struggling with who Deshaun is, because I knew who he was with the Texans, and I have not seen that quarterback with Cleveland for whatever reason. And I have not seen that Deshaun Watson with Cleveland. I'm still struggling, trying to figure out who Deshaun is. And I know everybody is, because we know what the talent was, we know what the talent can be. It has not come to fruition so far in Cleveland. From the Cowboys standpoint with the Browns, it's about stopping the run. Certainly the Browns are a different team at home. They're on the road. You saw that last year, and they know this is going to be a great challenge on the road to dog pound and be able to stop the run. For a Cowboys team, especially, you have Deshaun Watson, the starting rookie cornerback, and your former Cowboy, Mari Cooper, is the route runner. He was a route runner here, and I know he was a route runner there, and he's going to certainly target a rookie cornerback. So there's a lot of respect for the Browns. Browns and Cowboys have a rich history of battles over the years, and one of the most famous games certainly would go back to, I think, 1993 when Emmett was holding out, and the Cowboys lost the first 2 games of the season, and they lost to the Browns and forcing Jerry to get Emmett under contract, and they went on to win another Super Bowl.
Clarence, a quick bookkeeping note. I saw CeeDee Lamb is on some goofy commissioner's list right now. He is going to play Sunday, right?
Yeah, they put him on a commissioner list when he brought him back, just so they can manipulate the roster spot. But yeah, he's going to play. He's practiced all. He's been practicing since he showed up, and there's no question he's going to play. He's ready to go. Certainly, CeeDee Lamb held out last year. Held out throughout training camp, but he's been taking all the reps in practice. Last week they had him on a pitch count, but talking to CD, talking to the Cowboys, he and Dak have picked up where they left off. It doesn't look like they missed a beat. They did work out together during the off season while he was holding out at Dak's house. So the rapport is there. You add CD to Brandon Cooks and Jalen Tolbert and Jake Ferguson, and this is a pass-oriented team. They're going to try to throw the ball around the park against the Browns for sure.
We got a topic coming up later in the show about Daron Bland and his loss and what it means to the Cowboys. I'm just curious from your perspective, how big of a loss is that? I know they've got another rookie behind him that they feel comfortable with, but he hadn't done what Bland's done in this league so far. Yeah,
and that's why I just pointed to Kalen Carson. Mari Cooper. It's just like, if I'm the Browns, I'm going after Kalen Carson. He's a rookie cornerback. I think that Bland's loss was devastating, because you had Bland, who had blossomed into one of the best cornerbacks in the league, certainly set up NFL record with 5 returns for touchdowns last year, led the NFL in interceptions, pairing him with Trayvon Diggs, who led the NFL in interceptions a couple of years ago. You look at those guys, and they picked the ball off their ball guys, Bland to go with Diggs, and the Cowboys thought they had and were getting ready to have one of the best cornerback tandems in the league. Now Bland is out for 6 to 8 weeks, and you're starting rookie Kalen Carson, who's been very good in camp, but he's a 5th-round pick. He has not faced the likes of what he's going to see from Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy. And he didn't get a chance to go against CeeDee Lamb in practice, because CeeDee Lamb was not in training camp, was in holdout. So that's a huge question. That's a huge challenge. That's going to be one of the key matchups in the game on Sunday.
Clarence, I'm curious your thoughts on the Cowboys' running game. Obviously, you got Zeke, who's past his prime. I know he's your guy, Thomas, but he is past his prime. You talked about them being a passing team, certainly. What do you expect the carry kind of breakdown to be, and what would it be if you were in charge?
Zeke is RB1, whatever, and that shocked everybody because he's lead on the depth chart, but they're really going to be a running back by committee this year with Rico Dowdell, and they're going to give Deuce Vaughn some carries. And, of course, they have Dalvin Cook on the practice squad waiting in the wings. If these guys don't get it done against the Browns, you could see him being called up. He was signed, this last week to the practice squad. But Zeke is a guy that is still a hard-nosed running back who can score close to the goal. He has a nose for the end zone. They brought him back for red zone work. The big question with the Cowboys, there's no juice in the backfield. What are you going to do between the 20s? They're going to miss Tony Pollard's explosiveness, and that's a big question. And I think Rico Dowdell is going to fill some of that, but he's still an unproven guy. I think he had 300 yards last year rushing. That's his career high. So most people say the Cowboys are the worst running back room in the league. If you look at all the rankings and everything else, so there's a huge question mark for the Cowboys running back. But the difference, what the Cowboys are counting on is that they have 2 rookie offensive linemen in Cooper Beebe and Tyler Guyton. and they think they will be better up blocking up front. They think this will be a better run blocking unit when the offensive line with those two rookies. Cooper Beebe is the 3rd round pick from Kansas State, was a NFL offensive lineman of the year the last 2 years at guard. He's a mauler. He likes to dirt people. They're going to be really tough up the middle with Cooper Beebe at center and their 2 guards, Tyler Smith and Zach Martin, who may be the best guard tandem in the league. They're 2 all-pro, Pro Bowl type players to go with Cooper Beebe. They're going to get some push up the middle. Tyler Guyton replacing the future Hall of Famer Tyron Smith, the left tackle. He's not going to be the pass blocker that Tyron Smith is right off the bat, but he will be a better run blocker starting out.
Clarence, we'll get you out of here on this, but on the one hand, it's Micah Parsons versus whoever the Browns start at left tackle, whether it's Jack Conklin or Jed Wills. On the other hand, it's Myles Garrett versus Tyler Guyton and a rookie making his first NFL start. Who ends up with more sacks on Sunday, Myles or Micah?
Woo. We talked to Micah yesterday, and he knows Myles is on the side. He wants to win NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He wants to win the sack title. He says it's going to be an assassin this year, and Zimmer's going to line him up all over the formation. But I would have to think that Myles is going to have more sacks on Sunday.
All right, we're going to get you up out of here. What is your prediction for the game? Be honest.
Man, this is a tough one. I mean, it's a 2-point spread, right? 2.5-point spread. To me, that's a push, right?
Yeah.
And so we don't know. Sean hasn't played since last year. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Cowboys with 20-17. Okay. And since I'm on here, and I know y'all in Cleveland, I'm also picking the Longhorns over Michigan, okay?
There you go. You softened the blow. There you go.
Thanks, Clarence. We appreciate it.
We'll be at that game on Saturday.
Have fun.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
Awesome. That was Clarence Hill. Very much appreciate Clarence taking some time. Check out the DLLS All-City Sports Show down in Dallas, which is now part of the Locked On Tegna family as well. We're going to move on to our next topic, some bold predictions for the Browns after a quick word from LinkedIn. Whether you're hiring for a small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team, for faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. It helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In any given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites, so if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. To hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn, post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, so Mike asked us all yesterday to make a bold prediction for the Browns season. We did this with the Guardians. It looks like Tyvis is going to be the only one that got it right with the Guardians, right?
Correct.
The baseball expert.
The baseball guru, Tyvis Powell.
Thank you.
The rest of us crapped the bed on it.
Just a reminder, you picked Brian Rocchio to get All-Star votes.
Yep.
Jason,
No, to make the All-Star
the All-Star team. Jason said Tanner Bybee would get Cy Young votes.
That wasn't a bold
What did I say?
Yes, it was.
I didn't send this list in?
You weren't on that day. It was just those three.
Okay. So
I get a
that's it. So we're 0 for 2.
I'm nervous.
Tyvis right on the borderline, but he's
coming the closest.
Yes, he's definitely. Oh yeah, he's probably going to get it. So now we're going to do it for football, and we all have a bold prediction. Did you make one as well, Mike?
I did, and I have a sixth at the end. So each one of us has one. Then I have a sixth that I want to throw out to you, and you guys let me know.
Yeah.
Too bold or within the realm of reality. And we're going to start with Tyvis. We'll go around the horn.
Go ahead,
Tyvis, you got your baseball one right. How spicy did you
it's not
get
right yet.
for your football take?
Not over yet.
So the thing about it is, if I feel like I'm not going to get it because the person that knows the least about the sport usually gets it right. So if that holds true, then I have no shot. But my bold prediction, it ain't that spicy. It's a little spicy. Jason Lloyd will love it.
Yeah.
I said that Greg Newsome will lead the Browns in interception this year.
Hand to God.
Did you really?
I did. Just to have fun
the
with
reason being is because, to me, he's going to get the most opportunities because everybody targets the slot, and obviously some games he's going to get that matchup where they're going to target him. You know, people respect Denzel. People respect what MJ Emerson has become. he would be the guy that people would game plan against. And I think with that pass rush, there will be a lot of tip passes this year. Shout out to my boy Shelby. He's going to get his hand on a lot of balls this year. Pause.
There you go. There you go.
What about tips?
Both.
But G. New going to be the guy that I think is going to run under those and make those big plays. So I got G. New leading the Browns this year in picks.
Before we move on, everyone's got to give their thought on the bold prediction.
Okay.
Was it bold enough? Is that a bold enough
That's
prediction?
bold. Yeah, that's bold. He's got like
That's not his game.
He's got that's right. That's
Right.
not his thing.
The only reason it's not that, I mean, I think it's acceptable. It's over the line
He's
of
got
bold.
like 2 career picks.
The only reason it's not that bold is there's only a couple of guys that can have that. It's not like there's 40 guys that could get that award. You know what I mean?
There's 2 safeties. There's 2 other corners.
Yeah.
So that's
And there's 2 linebackers.
yeah. That's
When does a linebacker lead a team in interceptions? That's almost never.
That's true, too, but it's still there.
Yeah. I still give it as
can
bold
tie.
because
He can
Newsom
tie.
has not done anything.
He got
done
2
interceptions.
career picks.
So I think that's fair and bold.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the odds on that would be, but
Yeah.
would you take the odds? I'm not sure. Let's say it's
I would say it's probably like plus 350.
You know
maybe?
why it's a good prediction? He's playing for the next contract.
Yeah. And if you want to make some money, even in the slot or corner, you want to make some money? Get them takeaways. They cannot. If you are getting takeaways, that right there gets you paid immediately.
he had the biggest takeaway.
The Baltimore game.
In 2020.
The pick 6 in Baltimore.
Right. That
That
people talk about-
takeaway gave Browns fans that are supporting Deshaun Watson all the air in their lungs.
Right. Hey, bro,
And that was off a tip, too. That was off a...
Yeah.
That's a lot of tips going on today, isn't it?
bunch of tip drills.
All right. Am I up?
Jason,
All right.
you're up next.
When Mikey texted me, I'm just going to say it. When Mikey texted me yesterday and said, I need a bold prediction for you, I did not hesitate. I typed back, Jameis will lead the Browns in passing yards.
Oh, boy.
And then I thought, let's not choose violence in the preseason.
That would have been dope if you said that.
If you would have said that,
that'd have been
I would have
wild.
been like, oh my
So-
Hit
goodness.
it double down.
So I have it.
That would have been bold.
So I wanted it on tape just in case, but that wasn't my bold prediction.
So now you can get credit for it.
That's right. That's right.
Jason, before you tell your actual prediction that you submitted,
Yeah.
I told him compared to the first one he sent me,
Yeah.
what he's about to show you is unseasoned chicken. That's how not bold his next prediction is compared to the Jameis prediction.
Well, this one is for sentimental reasons and because I love Earl so much. Is Earl here today?
No.
No.
He'll be back next week.
All right. Martin Emerson will make the Pro Bowl this year. That's the one I'm going with.
I think
MJ
that's a bold
Emerson
prediction.
will make
I
his
think that's
first
a
Pro
bold
Bowl
one.
in 2024.
Now, if you would have said all pro, that would have been
If you would have
serious
said all pro, I would have told you you out to lunch.
Well, I mean, we got
you out to lunch.
There's levels
There's
to
levels
this.
to this, as Jim
Yeah,
would
there
say.
is. There
And
is.
sort of for the same reason as you. People are going to try and shy away from Denzel. Martin's going to get a lot of action, especially after, he got cooked at times toward the end of the season.
true.
So I think teams are going to try and pick on him a little bit. And part of this is hope. Part of this is speaking it into existence because I've been a big Emerson fan, not as big as Earl, but close. And I'm a little worried going into this year about him. So part of this is speaking it into existence.
It's a contract.
I think locally, some people would think that's not bold because I think fans have, overrate their own players.
Yeah.
Every
Well,
fan base
it's
does
because
that.
it's the Pro Bowl. Like,
Yeah.
it's so many different variables to where even if he didn't initially make it, somebody might be getting surgery. So
if he's
an
like the
alternate.
sixth alternate,
It still counts.
I'm giving that an L.
counts.
I'm giving that an
Now,
L.
if you would've-
definitely
if you
counts.
would have said he's going to be all pro,
Yeah.
then now
That's another level.
That's spicy.
That's next year.
Yeah, that's
We'll worry
spicy.
about that
All
next year.
pro, you got to be the top 4 at the position.
That's crazy.
2 for first.
All right, anybody backing Jason's all pro?
Yeah, that's easy.
Pro Bowl?
All
sorry,
pro?
sorry,
I was about to
Pro
say.
Bowl.
Yeah, I'm
You're
with that.
backing it?
Yeah.
All right.
I can see him.
I'm
he's
not
trending-
backing it.
He's trending in the right direction.
Well, then I'm not backing yours.
Yeah, but Jason, if everybody backs your play, then it's not bold.
What is this?
So I'm doing you a favor by not backing it. You know what I'm saying? You
What is this?
can definitely not back
That's
mine.
the best thing. That's the best thing Jason said. In a
That
while.
was good. That was good. I don't want you to back mine because if nobody backs it, then it's really bold. Picking Brian Rocchio to make the All-Star team was very bold.
That was bold.
It was very wrong, but it was very bold.
And he did have 4 RBIs on Tuesday.
He's been hot. He's been hot the last week. He's having a great
Not
week.
by his standards.
He had bad 20 weeks,
I
and now
was
he's
about to
having
say, it's a little too late.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Real quick before you go, G, we've had our first 2 bold predictions be cornerback predictions.
Yeah.
G and Bull, more likely to come true? Pro Bowl season for MJ or Newsome leading the team in interceptions?
I would say Pro Bowl for MJ.
Yeah, Emerson, he trending up, man. I think, sometimes you get that little confidence level. Like, man, he feel like he one of the best corners. He got snubbed, and then he was going against Justin Jefferson. He was holding his own. He like, listen, man, like, I feel like I'm one of the best corners. And a lot of it, what cornerback play is name brand recognition a lot too, Tyvis. The people that be, like, chirping them most, they seem to get that, like, thing because people really don't know what corners do anyway. Y'all just go out there and guard people. Like, so Jalen Ramsey talk about I'm the best or guys like that. Usually it's the dudes that are the self-proclaimed the best dudes in the league that get that type of nod. They automatically start just putting you in that list a little bit, like he's one of the best corners. You're like, not really.
Well, first of all, it's a confidence position. So if you don't go out there and say that you're the best, then you will get cooked. Secondly, the real way to get voted in the Pro Bowl is that all you really have to do is make one or two big plays against a big time receiver. That's it. You can get cooked for 150 the next week, but if you shut down Devontae Adams and hold him to one catch for 12 yards, you go right up next week and get cooked by Adam what's his name? Thielen. For 150, but they ain't gonna say nothing about it because you shut Devontae down for 10 yards.
Who's the dude he was a zone dude. He played for the Panthers. Then he went to
Josh Norman.
Yeah, Josh Norman.
Disaster.
I was like, who is this dude? He got in an eight round match, a boxing match with Odell, and then after that,
that's it.
Norman was that guy.
He balled that
but he was good.
He balled that season. He did. He was just in the cover 3 thing, which is ain't nothing wrong with that either.
All right, we now move on to G. Bush.
G. Bush.
Man, this is the easiest in the world. Y'all probably, matter of fact, you could put a poll question up. What do you think G. Bush is going to say on the thing that's going to happen?
Sean Watson, 5,000 yards.
Browns win the Super Bowl.
Nah, the 5,000 would have been cool. I should have doubled down. Dang, I didn't. No, it's just Deshaun Watson, comeback player of the year.
Comeback player of the year. That's a bold prediction.
That's very bold.
That's very bold because he ain't gonna get no votes. He ain't gonna get no votes. He could throw for 10,000. He ain't get not near one of them votes. That
is not true.
Hey, they gotta listen.
The problem is, you know who his biggest competition is?
Who?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I forgot he's coming back.
At least nobody
this year.
died last
And
year.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Right, yeah.
And Kirk Cousins.
Nobody's heart stopped or
better cut
anything.
that out.
That was a tough one last year. Like that was a shoe-in for DeMar Hamlin and Flacco won.
Stole it.
And still lost. So it's like crazy. But here's the thing: he could get some votes if he come out here and light it up. And Tom Brady be like, if Brady say he back, they ready to start a Brady cult right here. Like the first game, they're ready to line up and be like, whatever Tom Brady say, go. Like,
that's a fact.
If he say, oh, Deshaun, that's a big time throw. Let me show you how he threw this football. It's over then. Like,
that's true.
It's over. You can get it out. But if Tom say he terrible,
then it's over.
Yeah, it's gonna be an uphill battle.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a problem.
All right, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that one? Deshaun Watson, comeback player of the year.
That's definitely right.
Browns are going to win a lot of football games if Deshaun Watson's comeback player of the year. In fact, I'll go as far to say I'll make a bold prediction based off of his bold prediction. Although I guess it's not that bold if his prediction is right. But if Deshaun Watson wins comeback player of the year, that means the Browns won the division for the first time in 35 years, something like that.
Yeah.
I do think the Browns are off probation in terms of the Deshaun stuff around the league.
Right. Yeah.
But he does have to go extra.
Yeah, like he got to go up top.
To win that. Like it has to be no
Yeah,
debate.
he's got to have it in discussion for the MVP.
It has to be. It has to be
Yeah.
no debate.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. All right.
By the way, the betting favorites for comeback player of the year,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins tied, plus 220 each.
It's
Where's
so
Burrow?
weird. They always.
Sixth.
That is strange. Why would Burrow and Watson not be on there?
They're sixth. They're just not as high as Rodgers and
It doesn't
Kirk
make any
Cousins.
sense because Burrow and Watson have way more upside than Rodgers and Cousins. So it's.
The Rodgers thing's interesting.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers.
You think Aaron Rodgers has more upside
His
than Watson and Burrow?
His story has more upside.
Back-to-back MVP.
He's 40.
He did when he went back-to-back at 38.
He played 5 snaps last year, though. I think that's why his
I
odds are
guess,
so juiced.
but Kirk Cousins played a decent amount.
And
of
he's
games.
in New York, bull. They've been trying
That's
to
a fact,
get. They've
too.
been trying to get the Jets off for years.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, Bo, your bold prediction.
All right, my bold prediction, unlike these guys, I actually made a bold. Mine is the boldest of all the predictions.
I don't know
Would you
about
say,
that.
Mike?
No, mine is.
Well, compared to these three guys.
Yes, so far it's the most
Okay.
bold.
All right, here's the thing. Don't put it up yet. So, what did you say, Tyvus?
We just listen. You said don't do that.
I want to hear you set the table. Go ahead.
So it's appropriate, my bold prediction. I've talked about this guy a couple times in the offseason. I've been high on him all offseason.
Alex Wright.
Alex Wright. So, and it's his birthday today. Happy birthday to Alex Wright. So, my prediction is that Alex Wright gets 11 sacks this season. And you say 11 sacks. Okay. Well, no Browns player besides Myles Garrett has had more than 11 sacks in over 20 years. Now, Paul Kruger, I think, had exactly 11. No, maybe not Kruger. I don't know. Browns have had two other players since 2001 that had exactly 11.
Is it Jameer Miller one of them?
Jameer Miller, I think. Jameer Miller might have been the last guy with more than 11 besides Myles Garrett.
The text you sent me said since Jameer Miller, who had more than 11.
Right.
So
Jameer Miller was the last guy besides Myles Garrett to have more than 11. I'm saying he's going to get 11 sacks, which, again, would tie for the most besides Myles Garrett in 23 years. He had 5 last year in his career. What did he have his rookie year? 1, 2?
Give me 1 second.
I
Pull
don't
it
know.
up.
He doesn't have 11 in his career, and I'm predicting 11 sacks.
Can he get to 11 if Zadarius stays healthy?
Yes, because I think he's going to be better.
He could be.
And I think as the season goes along, first of all, the Browns are so deep on the defensive line that they're going to rotate guys. A guy like Zadarius, even if he's playing well, you want to keep him fresh.
Right.
He's older. So Alex Wright's going to get his opportunities. And I think Alex Wright's going to play so well when given the opportunities that he's going to push some of the older defensive linemen more on the bench, and he's going to get more as the season goes. I could even see him having only 3 or 4 in the first half of the season and then exploding in the second half of the season to get the 11.
I don't. 11 is crazy.
You know what the sick thing
That's
is?
a bold prediction.
That's crazy.
That is as crazy as me saying the Guardians will be having the upper half of home runs. And I am not going to sit here and go against what you saying right now because I am currently going to win my bold prediction.
He's not going to get no 11
that
sacks.
one is definitely the spiciest. 11 sacks. You know how hard it is to get sacks, period?
Hey, listen, he asked me for bold. I went bold.
If he do that, that means Myles Garrett is getting quadruple teamed.
No, I don't agree. I don't even think that's the case. If he gets 11 sacks, I
don't know what his moves
if he gets 11 sacks, the Browns got the #1 defense again.
They do,
and they better have at least won 11 games this season.
Yes.
11 sacks is wild.
All right, there you go. All right, Mike, you claim yours is even bolder than that.
I do think mine's a little more bold than that.
Well, aren't we going to back Bulls?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jason is not
No,
backing
I'm
that.
not backing that. No.
Nobody should be backing mine. It's unlikely that it's going to come true, but
That's like plus 1,000.
at least got to be higher than that. It must be plus 5,000.
11 sacks. That's a lot of sacks.
That's how you say Jerome Ford going to have 1,500.
More likely, Jerome Ford 1,500 or Alex Wright 11 sacks.
Oh, Alex Wright. 11 sacks.
Jerome Ford.
Wait, you talking 1,500 all-purpose yards total?
Yeah.
No, I was saying Russian, but he ain't getting that either.
No, it
Alex
doesn't
Wright
matter.
11.
It don't matter.
Y'all need to
How
stop.
you frame
You
it.
talking total yards? He can get 1,500 total yards.
On what?
No, he won't.
Is he returning kicks with nobody else on the field?
Like, is this Madden? Are we spoon feeding Jerome Ford?
Jerome Ford can't get 600
You guys-
600 catching and 900
I think after
rushing.
looking back at last year, Jerome Ford is better than we gave him. credit.
No, he's not.
Sick.
He had 1,150 total yards last year.
Jerome Ford is
You
an
don't think he can
adequate
get that?
NFL running back.
He may have a better year this year
Yeah.
with a year under his belt. He did not have a great year last year.
I'm not.
No, nobody said he's great. I'm saying he's an adequate NFL running back. But
He's the Jed Wills of running backs.
I think
He's just average. He's just a guy. He's average.
Okay, but I think we talked about him as if he was worse than average because we're so used to watching Nick Chubb.
Maybe. And maybe it's the same punishment for Jed of
That's
watching
right.
Joe Thomas.
That's right. That's fair. Yeah. Go ahead, G.
He ain't getting no 1,600. What's something
It's 15.
15. He ain't getting 15 either.
All-purpose yards.
Nah.
All right, go ahead, Mike. Let's see if you outbowled the rest of us.
Yeah, the Browns made an emphasis this year on bringing in a new offensive coordinator, changing their offensive philosophy. They're going to chuck the ball around a lot, right? They brought in Jerry Jeudy.
Yes.
Elijah Moore's in a contract year. David Njoku's coming off the best season of his career. And Cedric Tillman's going to finish second on this team in receiving yards this year. He's going to have more receiving yards than Judy, Moore, and Njoku. Book it.
I think mine is still bolder than that. That's bold, though.
If that happens, the Browns ain't making the playoffs.
Now, wait
I'm
a
dead
second.
serious.
Hold on.
No, I think Tillman's he's in for a massive sophomore year leap.
It depends. Are you saying that because Tillman's going to be great or the others are going to suck?
I think Tillman's going to be really good.
How many yards you got for Tillman?
About 790.
G's right.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
not great.
he's not making the playoffs.
That means Jerry Jeudy was non-existent or is hurt.
And
Elijah Moore is out of here, and David Njoku went back to the old David Njoku. That is devastating.
If Cedric Tillman is second on the team with 790 receiving yards, G is right. They're not going to the playoffs.
If Cedric Tillman is second on the team with 790 yards, the Browns better ask for their money back.
What if Tillman has 790 yards and Jameis threw him 775 of them?
Mother dinner on both for me and Jason.
Yeah,
I mean, if you had Tillman second with 1,200 yards, then okay.
Remember when we got that word that Jacoby Brissett was starting all them 11 games in the beginning?
Yeah.
That's this type of face we would have.
Yeah.
Like that, just coming in trying to just figure something out.
Let me give you a little context. I think Cooper goes over 1,000. I think he's right in that 1,200 range again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after that, I think Njoku, Tillman, and Judy are all in a similar range, but by the end of the season, Tillman will emerge as Deshaun Watson's second favorite target.
Well, if all those guys have between 700 and 800 yards,
yes,
that's not great. That means they only have 3,300 yards between their top four pass catchers.
I can't get to 4,500 with that.
They're not getting the 4,500.
I didn't say Deshaun was done for 4,500 in my simulation.
Well, anything less than that's going to be a huge disappointment.
I'm reverse engineering this thing, and I'm trying to figure. I'm like, nah, bro. Said Tillman got to be around. If he give me 500, I need Judy over 1,000 regardless.
What was DPJ's highest?
860.
Man.
Well, here's the thing: both G and Mike cannot be right. Somebody's
right.
got to be wrong because Deshaun ain't winning comeback player of the year if said's second on the team with 790 yards.
At all.
No. Unless Amari Cooper has 2,000.
Again, Madden is not. That's a bold one, McNuggets.
And this is in all seriousness.
It's the 790 part that's messing me up.
The yards, okay, maybe the yards are a little low.
No, you can't.
I am fully no, I'm not. But I genuinely think, and this is no joke, Cedric Tillman is in for a monster.
790 is not a monster.
You do
second? No. I am all on board.
For Tillman, it is. That'd be a monster year for Tillman.
His issues last year were more mental than physical. He could not get the route combinations down. Him and Joe Flacco. I go back to the Chicago game. Those interceptions. Coming to the sideline and Flacco's reaming him out for not understanding where Flacco wanted him to be with a full offseason under his belt in this new Dorsey system. The physicality's there. He's got the hands. When he was healthy in Tennessee, he was the best receiver in the SEC. He got hurt his junior year, fell in the draft. When he's healthy, this dude has been a baller. I am all on board with a sophomore year jump for Cedric Tillman.
Let's put this to bed right now because I'm going to call your bluff.
Yeah.
We did fantasy. Do you got Cedric Tillman on your fantasy team?
No, he didn't even get drafted.
He's my number one waiver wire, guys.
That's a good point, Tyvis.
All right.
Well, also,
We had 18 rounds.
Nope, because there was supposed to be 20 rounds in the draft. That was my 20th round sleeper. And then Bill said, no, we got to get out of here.
Wait a second.
I'm cutting it to 18.
Oh, my
he
God.
He would have been on my team if it
cut
wasn't
down
for
from 20 to
and
18 because you were whining the whole time. It was taking too long.
It was taking forever.
It was not. It went fast.
Do you like him? You like him more than Jerry Jeudy? Because it sounds like you feel like you like him a little more than Jeudy.
I need to see it from both of them.
And by the way,
I do think Tillman right now, in my opinion, and this probably you guys probably disagree. We've seen 4 years of Jeudy. He's been solid. He's been okay. I think Tillman's ceiling is higher than Judy's right now.
Better not be.
Would you be surprised if Tillman led the team in touchdown catches?
No.
Is that a bold prediction?
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I still.
Because I think that's realistic. I think that.
I mean, he's a red zone target.
Absolutely.
By the way, Mike just made the argument that he's going to be good because he was the best SEC receiver the year before.
I'm just saying, when he's been healthy, the dude's been a monster.
But wasn't David Bell the best Big Ten receiver the year before that?
It's SEC means more, baby.
Whoa. You know where you at? You better shut that up. You about to lose a lot of fans.
Andy Cannell's going to get mad at you.
We have one more prediction.
Yeah.
This is a UCSS production bold prediction. We want to know if you guys would ride with this. We know Nick Chubb starting on the PUP list, but will he still get 1,000 rushing yards this season?
I hope so. I got him in 2 of my 6 fantasy leagues, but
that's tough, man.
I'm just
Is
saying,
that too bold?
12 games to get 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I was trying to
Well, it
think
could be
of
13 games.
I was trying to think of a Chubb way to make a bold prediction and like lead the team in rushing. That's not that bold. That's not really not bold. He's still going to play 12 games. I think he can get to 1,000.
I think he can, but the first
He's
few
got to
ga-
get 85 a game if he plays 12.
right. But the first few games, you got to figure he's going to have like how many carries is he going to get?
Right.
First couple of games back.
If he was on a pitch count before, remember we argued on this stage about how many carries Nick Chubb got.
got to
the
get
whole
him
year.
20.
He was on a pitch count of 6 now. He's getting 6 carries a game.
Early in the season, yes.
Y'all out to lunch. He ain't getting the
I don't know about
1,000. Y'all need to cut it out.
I got him. I mean,
No.
it's a bold prediction. I don't think he's going to get 1,000, but he get 800.
I got him 882.
779.
Okay. I mean, plus, there's some good teams he playing at the end of that schedule, man. Like they got Kansas City, they got the whole AFC North again. Like that's kind of tough.
Realistically, 750 to 800 is probably ballpark.
Yeah.
I don't think it's impossible.
No, I don't think 1,000 is impossible because he could break off a couple big runs.
Right.
By the way, we have football tonight, guys.
Yeah.
That's
We do.
crazy.
It's just because when you said, or one of you said Kansas City,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh man, Kansas City, Baltimore playing
A
tonight.
big time game.
I can't
too,
wait to
man.
watch that game.
That's why I play tomorrow. Is that the Brazil game?
Tomorrow's the
Tomorrow's
Brazil
Brazil.
game.
Brazil
It's
game's tomorrow.
The Packers and
Eagles.
Eagles, right?
Yeah, this is
was
wild,
about to be
man.
Did
Browns.
you see the reporters can't use Twitter in Brazil? Brazil has
Yeah.
outlawed Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, we about
Man,
to
I
do
wish America would. I'd
So
love
what
to
they
get rid of
what
my
they gonna
Twitter
use?
They about to do the
Threads?
same thing to TikTok here.
They
I
gonna
don't know.
Nah, they've been trying to get rid of TikTok. They didn't get rid of TikTok. What they gonna use? Threads over
They
there?
can't use it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be weird.
You can use Threads.
Real quick, before we bring on Aditi, couple tidbits of information we've gotten this morning from the Browns press conference. Bubba Ventrone spoke and Ken Dorsey spoke. First, Ventrone said Elijah Moore will be their primary punt returner
Let's go.
this year.
He's not a good receiver, so he might as well do something.
You gotta cut this out. It's a bounce.
What did I
back
say?
year. 8 ball. It's back this year.
All right.
That's the hardest thing you've ever said, man.
Damn.
That's the hardest thing.
Ever.
Middle of the road Tyvus just went.
Right?
That's wild.
Wow.
Okay.
Miami
I
drug
did not
king.
see that
Just
coming.
saying. It's back. Elijah Moore, bring the 8 ball. Is out this year.
So he's
Yeah,
returning.
you're like a character from Snowfall now.
Hey, did they say who's returning kickoffs?
Ventrone said they're going to use a number of different combinations on kickoff return.
There are some teams that use like Kyren Williams, the Rams starting running back, is their kick returner.
Yeah, that's not.
The Bengals
I
are
got
using
him
Chase
on one
Brown
of my
as their
fantasy
kick
teams,
returner.
and I'm
And
not
by the way,
feeling that.
and we not to divert the conversation. The new kickoff rules have been a dud so far. This piling up and they're getting 4 or 5 yards on the kick returns. This is looking like a
Plug
scrum.
ears.
It's going to end up teams just kicking into the end zone, taking
Just
the touchback.
put the ball in the 30 and let's go.
Yeah.
Abolish the kickoff. Abolish the kickoff.
I'm actually with Jason on that.
Next nugget of
Right.
information.
Sick.
Ken Dorsey says he will stay on the field during games, thinks it's important to be down there with Deshaun Watson and the other quarterbacks after each drive. Which
That's no
means the
surprise.
play caller and the OC will both be
Right.
on the sideline.
That's how it's been since Kevin got here. That's
Yeah.
AVP was on the sidelines too. So
Oh,
that's,
I think that's a team rule.
He's the quarterback coach too, isn't he?
right, as
So-
AVP was last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Kevin
So,
Stefanski gave him an option to be on the field or on the field.
Your choice.
Your
You
choice.
can stand here or here.
Dorsey said the left tackle situation is day by day, would not commit to either Wills or Conklin.
Jed Wills said he was
That
not
was
starting.
that was hysterical.
He
I was there yesterday.
Right,
I was
right.
in
Well,
Berea.
yeah, I mean, it was so weird because Kevin said, he practicing might play, and then Jed said,
Jed's
I feel
like,
that
no,
happens
man.
with the Browns all the time.
Jed's like, no, man, I ain't starting. We were laughing. Can you imagine Kevin looking at his phone? Jed said, what?
He just got out of the meeting and said, guys, we're going to play this even. But I ain't even playing, dog. What?
It's like Kevin says some things sometimes and doesn't tell the team not to say anything.
Well, it's common sense not to reveal strategy.
Right.
I guess
I guess that's
Yeah.
out
you
of the
got to
bag.
go over common sense with some of these
Sure,
guys.
sure they had a conversation afterwards.
Sure they did.
One more interesting quote from Ken Dorsey. He was asked about Deshaun Watson. Dorsey said, quote, "He's going to make some exceptional plays for us that no one else in the league can make," end quote.
They've been hyping. Like Quincy Avery, quote of the year. Hey, listen, he throws the ball harder than we've ever seen in his life. Now he's telling me you're going to see some things that no other quarterback can. I mean, there is a Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson.
Gas him up. You better.
They hear now.
He's not even the hardest thrower on the team. DTR is.
That's true.
DTR
throws 14
I know he do.
So, hey, look, I like it, man. Hey, listen, like J. Cole say, love yours.
Real quick. Hey. Zach Meisel told me that you were like the best talker at Ohio State when you were there.
Yeah, I could get.
I can talk. But did you ever get a pee-pee smack for saying something wrong?
Okay.
No.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi.
I was hearing that.
1,
I was
2,
hearing
3, 4, 5.
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
I was pretty good. I knew what to say and what not to say, and I always have fun with it.
I don't think he'd mind me saying this now. Kirk Barton, when he brought the champagne bottle and a cigar into the interview room after they beat Michigan, and he was talking about he spent a scholarship check on it. Tressel got so mad at him. He got in so much trouble. Kirk emailed me and he's like, please stop writing about that. Like, please don't ever mention that again. I am in so much trouble. I was like, I got you, buddy.
And just think, Tressel, the disciplinarian and the senator and the councilman he is, got suspended and fired for tattoos.
For tattoos?
For nothing.
That's crazy.
Gold pants
and reinstate him, you owe him a bag of money.
Yeah, that's
he's got plenty of money.
I know.
He's fine. He's fine.
He's doing both.
All right, Mike. Aditi, we got Aditi ready?
We do. Before we bring on Aditi, a quick reminder that the first ever Ultimate Buckeye Show with Dustin and Tyvis is live on our YouTube channel. You can find it. They talked about the Week 1 win, the Week 2 preview, a little bit of what makes championship DNA in a Buckeyes team. That is on our YouTube page. 2 former Buckeyes, 2 former national champions talking Buckeyes, so make sure you check it out on our YouTube page. And with that, we are thrilled to welcome on with a brand new laptop, Aditi Kinkhabwala, and we can hear her, we can see her. There's no glitches. This is a tremendous day in the UCSS world. Aditi, how you doing today?
Yeah.
I sort of feel like we're setting the standard a little high right here.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you to CBS for the brand new MacBook Pro. It appears to like connecting to the internet a little bit better than the old one did.
Hey, Aditi, I need to mess up my computer and ask Tegna for one now.
Does Tegna do that? Should I have been asking Steve Becker for a computer?
Right.
Would that have been better?
Yeah.
G's going to throw his against the wall.
Wait, I want to go back. Can we go back for a second, Jason, when you were talking about who the best talkers are?
Yeah.
Don't you feel, because I was talking to 2 Broncos yesterday. One was Alex Singleton. One was Marvin Mims Jr. They were both great talkers. But one was far more helpful to me because it wasn't just the coach speak. Like it was actually offering some insight.
Yep.
And it was showing me enough trust that I'm not going to burn him.
Right.
But at least I understand things better. So when you're talking about best talkers, isn't that what really matters?
There's definitely levels to this.
Yeah.
There's talkers who are just entertaining, and there's talkers who actually give you helpful knowledge information.
Right.
Which were you?
I was actually one of those guys that I would give you a little nugget, but I wouldn't expose everything.
Okay.
Like I'd say, like,
that's good. Nobody
exposes that's smart.
Yeah, I would say like, you know, if it was like say Coach Meyer went in there and just ripped everybody, I would say we had a really good, you know, it was a meeting we had after the game, and it was not pleasant. It was, let's just say that. It was some choice words being used. That's what I mean.
But Batonio's a good talker, but he doesn't give you much, right?
No, he's not gonna
spill anything.
No, they're all good. Like there's some really good talkers that don't reveal the war chest on the record.
But I would say, Jason, I think so much of this, like, it doesn't only have to be what's on the record. Like, I think a great talker is someone who will give you a nugget that gives you background or sort of informs how you should view something. And whether you ever share that nugget with anybody else or not, at least that person is helping you see the full picture.
For sure.
And I think Joel is...
I'm just trying not to get anybody in trouble. But you're 100% right. Yeah. You're just going to keep pressing until it hurts.
Now, Aditi, I got this.
All right, next topic. Sorry, guys.
This actually is a question. This is very interesting. If you had to interview one person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, gosh. I don't like questions like this. I mean, I'll say my grandfather.
There you go.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Most unconditional, I'll say this, the most unconditional love that I've ever experienced in my entire life was from my grandfather, who was an absolutely exacting human being. My father wouldn't be who he is if it weren't for my grandfather. But my family used to joke that if I robbed a bank, my grandfather would say, "Oh, well, you look at my Aditi, look at how well she robbed that bank." And now I would love to just talk to him about, I don't know, that emotion, that feeling, that and it's not an interview, but I'd like to tell him how important it was that he had that faith and belief in me.
Yeah.
If your daughter robbed the bank, you wouldn't credit her for it if she did a good job?
I'm not a grandparent. I mean, come on now. My daughter, it's funny. I will tell you, though, Bull, that the preschool just sent home, like when you discipline your child at home, what is the most effective means of discipline? And I mean, I hate to say this, bite my tongue as I say it, knock on wood as I say it, but like, I don't really have to discipline her. I mean, she's a really good kid.
Yeah.
It's sort of like if she does something that I don't like, I say, Kaya, you need to clean up your mess. And that's it. Yeah. She cleans up her mess. Like there's not her brother now. That's a whole other story. But anyway.
I got that same issue. Aditi, let's talk some Browns. You know, obviously, what do you think the biggest story into this game is? Is it the left tackle situation or is it Deshaun Watson's performance?
I think, you know, it's funny. I feel more strongly about Deshaun Watson's performance being kind of the barometer, the question. I don't know why. Maybe it's blind of me to have this faith that Jack Conklin will be fine out there at left tackle. But I think, you know, you haven't seen the whole line together. You haven't seen the entire offense together. You haven't seen anybody really rep under anything that even resembles a live rush. I think by the time we get to the kickoff, it'll be exactly 300 days since Deshaun Watson has faced a live rush. And I know that in the preseason, he tried to minimize that with me. And he's like, oh, I played football my whole life. It's not that big of a deal. But I don't know. I mean, even Joe Thomas would tell me that in year 10, it doesn't feel real until you get that first hit. And I don't know. The attention, the eyeballs, the frenetic energy inside that stadium, the excitement, and the fact that all these pieces are coming together on a live field for the first time. I think that I have bigger concerns. Not concerns, that might not be the best word, but bigger questions, or feel like there's a bigger spotlight on how Deshaun manages the whole entire operation.
When you say that, Aditi, it makes me think that, you know, when I go and look at this game, I feel like this is a defensive-minded game. Like, it's like if the Browns want to win this game, it's kind of hard for me to think that all those pieces coming together for the first time is going to lead to, I don't know, 35 points in the opening day. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. Do you think that it's going to have to be one of those defensive, you know, games that the Browns pitched last year at home and kind of, you know, set the tone to say we're a great team at home again defensively?
I think that that's what they have to want to do. I think that that has to sort of be a piece of the identity. And you're going to see that. I mean, you see that with the Browns and with the Steelers. And not that this Browns offense can't and shouldn't and won't be a lights out offense as you move forward. And you know that they're certainly saying all the right things about how excited they are with this augmented passing game and with the choice routes and the addition of a guy like Jerry Jeudy and finally figuring out how to play Elijah Moore. All of that, it sounds great, but I think early we always see the defense kind of ahead of the offense. It's the defense that certainly helps set the tone in that building. Of course, I'm sure some of you saw Jim Schwartz nearly take my head off in the third preseason game when I asked about building on last year, and he said he hasn't seen his whole defense together, so who knows how they're going to play. That was one of those great moments, and I bet we're going to have a lot more of those this year now that we have to interview coaches on camera every game. But yeah. You'll have to dial that one back, YouTube it or something. Jim Schwartz was not happy with me when I asked about his defense building off of last year.
What do you mean you're going to have to you interview coaches on camera? What do you mean?
There are new broadcast rules. Now the NFL, as you're certainly used to seeing in the primetime games, Sunday Night Football or the A Crew for CBS, they'll do an on-camera interview with the head coach. Right. Well, now the NFL has put out new rules where each team has to provide either a head coach or one of their cameras on camera during the game.
Oh, okay.
So now, heading into halftime, instead of like a nice little chat with my notebook as we run to the locker room,
Gotcha.
I have to stop Mike McDonald, who is thinking about his very first halftime ever and whatever has happened in the first 2 quarters and needing to use all of those minutes that he has to make whatever adjustments he needs to make and address him. Instead, he now gets to stop and talk to me for 2 questions on camera.
And they're going to be crabby about it, and you guys will all get the brunt of it, which sucks. Yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I guess this might. But do you think that is because I forget now who the sideline announcer was who said that she just made it up when she didn't get to talk to him? Remember that?
Carissa Thompson said that. Yeah.
So is this the NFL's counter to that, or do you think it's
no?
unrelated?
I don't think so at all because there was such a vehemence in response to that. I think this is more about the NFL attempting to show how much access you get as a viewer to bring the fans a little bit closer. But, like he said, if someone's not in a good mood or if somebody is rushed, we're the ones on the other end of that.
Yeah.
So,
how do you
of course,
decide?
you'd never be able to resist this smile, right?
That's right. That's right. How do you decide which of the 2 coaches?
It might have made, Bill Belichick last year at one point told me that I was asking the wrong question and it didn't make sense. And I think that would have been a fun moment for all of you to see on camera.
It should. Aditi, how do you decide which of the 2 coaches you talk to at halftime?
Well, the home team. So the way it works is the rules are you can do it at the end of the first quarter, end of the third quarter, or going in at half, coming out at half. Yeah. And the rules are that the home team gets to decide. So interesting for us, and I hope that I'm not doing anything awful here, but Denver would have preferred, I have Denver at Seattle, Denver would have preferred that Sean Payton talk to me going into half, but Mike McDonald wanted to talk going into half. So Sean Payton will be on camera coming out of the half.
Gotcha. Okay.
Aditi, I'm going to give you 5 scenarios. You got $100.
5?
5 scenarios. You got $100 to lay a bet on.
You stole my question because I know exactly where you're going with this.
We all did.
I think the CBS gambling policy says I'm not allowed to bet, but okay.
Yeah.
This is fake money. It's Monopoly money.
Fake money, Monopoly money. Yeah. Got it.
We have 5 bold predictions. Which one do you think will come true? It's more likely to come true. If any.
Okay, sorry. Guys, you got to pick one. You're right.
So it was Greg Newsome will lead the Browns in interceptions. Martin Emerson will go to his first Pro Bowl. Deshaun Watson wins Comeback Player of the Year. Alex Wright gets 11 sacks. Or Cedric Tillman is second on the team in receiving.
Martin Emerson will go to the Pro Bowl.
Thank you very much.
That is not a compliment.
Thank you very much.
That means it ain't bold enough.
Yours was the least bold.
Sit your ass down, Jason.
Realistic.
That is wrong. That is the least
bold. It was the least bold of the prediction. The assignment was a bold prediction.
Wait.
No, you did right. You did right. You did right.
Likely.
It is most likely, which is most likely.
What's the most likely to happen? What's likely to happen, right?
Tyvus asked it that way, but we were all asked to give a bold prediction. Which did you think was the boldest of the 5?
Well, it's got to be. She already answered the question. Asked and answered. Move on.
She said that was most likely.
So what is the least likely?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
I guess, yeah.
Who's drunk? Which has no chance of happening. Who's rubbing cocaine on their gums right now?
Oh my gosh! Are you allowed to say that? Or
well, Tyvus just did it on camera.
Well, he didn't actually do it. He pretended to do it.
Mikey, what are you getting me into?
Yeah, Mikey, what did you do to
Listen, Tyvus pulled a fast one on us today. None of us. Tyvus doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't do anything. We've certainly seen it. Certainly seen it once or twice in his life.
It's funny that you're saying that because my crew every Friday night is cigar night. And every Friday night after we do our big crew dinner, just analyst, play-by-play, producer, and myself go to a cigar bar. Not that I smoke the cigars, but I hang out and I keep everybody company. Apparently, in the state of Washington, you are not allowed to smoke at any place of employment or any public place.
It's a great rule.
Isn't that interesting? Well, but I thought other types of smoking things are legal. So where do they smoke?
Yeah, that's
Where
crazy.
do people smoke weed in Washington if you're not allowed to smoke anywhere?
I mean, because it is legal.
In private homes?
I don't know.
It is. I mean, I was just there a few weeks ago. There's a lot of it on the street, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, there is. I was just there recently, too, and yes, it is going on a lot. But you didn't answer
it's
the
like
question,
a contact
Aditi.
high.
You cannot avoid the question. Which is the boldest of the predictions?
Do you want to hear him
Okay,
again?
so again, it was Greg Newsome leading in picks, Deshaun Watson, comeback player of the year, Alex Wright, 11 sacks, and what was the fourth
Cedric
one?
Tillman, second
Oh,
in
Cedric
receiving.
Tillman, number 2. Ooh. Okay, I really like Cedric Tillman. Like,
Let's
really,
go.
really,
Great
really
answer,
like him.
Aditi.
Again,
I don't know if that's...
it's the
least-
Well, I'm just
boldest
saying, I
prediction.
don't know if that's
She said that was
like-
the boldest.
Congratulations, Mike. No,
No, that's
already
not
picked
what
mine.
she said.
You're the runner-up. How's
No,
second
Mikey.
taste?
Thank you. I'm just thinking. So
She's thinking out
that
loud.
I feel is not as crazy out of the realm of possibility. Deshaun Watson is comeback player of the year, or Alex Wright 11 sacks. I mean, you think about how much attention Myles Garrett will eat up. Does that create huge opportunity? Are they running a lot of NASCAR? Are they running a lot of 4 ends up front? Are they doing that?
No,
Anybody who's been at practice?
Uh,
That one seems a little bit
yeah,
crazy.
but I don't think
And
practice
Greg
tells the story
Newsome?
anyway.
I think the boldest is going to have to be Alex Wright.
As usual, I make the boldest prediction.
As usual, you're going to be wrong.
Maybe so. If I'm wrong,
No. But boldest again is the furthest, the one that's hardest to see. Correct? Boldest means the one that's hardest to see.
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
You got to be gutsy about
So-
these things. You can't take the
got
easy
that.
way out.
You got that.
You also have to
There
be
you
somewhat
go.
realistic.
All right, Aditi, who's going to win this game? Who is going to win the Browns game this weekend? You can't predict your Broncos Seahawks game, so predict the Browns game.
Yeah, I like the Browns in this one. I do. I like the Browns in this one. Why is everybody? Why is that
I don't
so hard
know.
to believe?
I don't know. Close game, blowout. What's going to happen?
Oh, now you're asking a lot of extra questions
I'm putting
here.
the pressure
It's not
on you
enough
right
that I
here.
tell you I think that the Browns win. I have to tell you how they win.
Yes. There's no easy way out here. There's no. Go ahead.
I don't think it's a squeaker. I mean, I don't think it's a romp, but I also don't think it's a last-second Dustin
All
Hopkins
right.
field goal.
Browns solid win.
10+ game, 10+.
There you go. That'll be big.
Wait, I've got one for you guys.
Yeah.
How many this dynamic kick return all weekend? Do you think we see a return broken for a touchdown?
None.
No.
None.
Abolish the kickoff.
Zero.
One. They haters. They don't appreciate special teams.
Aditi,
One.
I've
Agreed.
said for a year, get rid of the kickoff, put the ball
and
to
you
30, and
need-
let's go.
you need to cut
Let's
that
go.
out.
I don't
Just
think half
No.
of them don't even understand
This is
that.
where a lot of guys make their careers.
Thank
This is the
you,
moment I love
Aditi.
special
They can
teams.
make it on punt returns. They can make it on
Come
punt
on.
returns.
Thank you.
Go away, Jason. Don't be
Who's
so-
getting
yeah,
paid
like
because
I
of
said, don't be a
returns?
hater.
Nobody.
What?
You're right.
Devin Hester just went to the Hall of Fame. Josh
That was
Crist.
years ago.
What are you saying? You
Nobody
said
now-
that we would never
That's
know
what
them
they're trying to
if
bring
we
it
got rid
back.
of kickoffs.
Punts! Punt returns!
It's not
Yep.
the same.
Aditi,
You
thank
know
you.
what's funny? We have okay. Bye,
We're
guys.
going to argue about this. We'll
Have
talk
fun.
to you later.
See you next
See you
week.
later.
Thank
Bye.
you, Aditi.
See
The
you
new
later.
laptop worked tremendously,
It
so
did.
shout out to CBS.
Much improved.
Much improved.
Yeah.
Before we bring in Bernie, a quick word that the second hour of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show today is sponsored by FanDuel. You guys have heard us talk about FanDuel a lot. It is unquestionably America's #1 sportsbook, and right now FanDuel has a little something different for you guys. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel at any time you want. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to download America's #1 sportsbook.
Our buddy Bernie Kosar is here. Bernie, you're so far away.
Hey, I
it's
know.
a mile away.
I feel him in the timeout chair, the little boys chair.
Bernie, yesterday we had your buddy Leroy Horde on, and I asked him jokingly who would win. Did you hear about this or no?
No, I did not.
I said, who would win in an Oklahoma drill between you and him? And of course he said he would, but he goes, Bernie was so great to me when I first came to the team. I couldn't hurt Bernie.
Well, I want to be able to talk smack since I got the last word, but with my speed and lack of size and stuff, Leroy would have got me in an Oklahoma drill. And I needed him to pick up the blitzers and then get the chip check through and catch the ball. So even if I had the athleticism and physical presence to dent that rock body of his, I would not have done that.
It's game week, and I've always been interested in people's pregame rituals. Like when you were playing, what were you doing safe the night before the game? Like what was your routine?
So I'm going to get to that, but G. Bush, I'm looking over at those shades and that intimidating look, and I'm thinking, you actually look good in that outfit. I did a podcast last night with the great Eric Metcalf and Frank Stamps, who tried to do the same look with the shades on.
Couldn't do it.
He was a little crooked the whole show. He was crooked the whole show. Like, my head's tilting right all day today. So I digress here. I'm a little off here from Frank the Hammer Stamps, okay? And he made me look fashionable with the way his crooked head went. But
I get your glasses together, Frank.
That's right. Come on, Frank.
Hey, but to the pregame routine and to the night before the game, it's imperatively important that I believe you should be doing that. And for younger players, younger kids out there, we're getting ready for high school football on tonight and tomorrow. Got the college games, and even us pros, you're not too cool, it's not too late to really somewhat obsess on your pregame routine. And the day before, I actually did about a 48-hour rule. So I really started having my issues Friday, and Friday at practice and stuff. And Friday night being a big night in the world for people to be going out. And for NFL guys, you kind of have a short Friday practice, and you have the most of the afternoon and then the night off, and then you chill out on Saturday. So you could get a little aggressive out socially. And so I was really cognizant of that with my guys and stuff. So to make sure that we did that stuff on Monday and Tuesday, okay, and I would finance that to make sure that they were focused and you could have street cred on Friday and Saturday when you want them to back off and obsessively 100% have no balance in your life and focus on what you're going to visualize and do on Sunday. So Saturday night, I really lusted for in terms of digging into my playbook, digging into my one-page game plan that I really condensed down into my notes and super studied them. So that's kind of when, and I was blessed to kind of be part of a play calling routine in most of my places, was when we talked about last week, the scripting of 10 to 15 of the first plays. I'd be overly involved in that. And then actually, and if I wasn't overly involved, I'd be picking the hell out of what those 15 plays are going to be, personnel, motions, and groups, because I absolutely mentally wanted to have everything I understood down the night before and the different adjustments. And even for this weekend, we're having a great weather stretch here in Cleveland. It's going to look perfect on Sunday. For the TV viewers out there, you're going to see a nice late summer, early fall looking day with sun out there and partly cloudy skies and 70 degrees, and it's going to look perfect. But for me as an ex-quarterback, it's supposed to be windy. And that 15 to 20 mile an hour gusts and stuff, I'd be obsessing on, hoping that doesn't happen. So I'd be praying to any God that there is out there, okay, and any religion there is out there, I'm going to try to cover my backside with. And then thinking about what weather's going to be and what the plays are going to be if it's going to be windy and off weather. And albeit it's supposed to look nice on Sunday, we could conceivably get more wind than we want.
Bernie, you said you talked about how your involvement with the game plan obviously is way more than most quarterbacks, especially nowadays. I mean, I'm sure when you played, there were more quarterbacks like you that were more involved. But you were, I mean, you've talked about this before. I mean, you were doing play calling that no quarterbacks are really doing now. I'm sure there were some quarterbacks, the Mahomeses and the Rodgers of the world, that are somewhat involved. But do you think it's easier for these guys now, or is it harder being less involved?
Well, what I find it being harder because in knowing what you're doing and understanding it and being part of the process, I felt more comfortable with it. So in turn, and I played more in preseason, so in turn I had both things covered. So where I was going into the game, that natural anxiety that you may have in regular life, I didn't have as much of it from that perspective of it.
Bernie, I want to ask you a question. Tom Brady recently said that he feels it's different nowadays. These quarterbacks are not being developed properly in college, and they're going to the NFL and they're being rushed in there, and it's hurting their careers. Do you think that that's true? Do you think that these rookie quarterbacks will be better served if they stay essentially redshirted their rookie seasons?
So I followed his quotes, and there's parts of it I agree with, and then there's parts that I really don't agree with. And it's not from a confrontational side of it, but the thing that really is challenging to me with young quarterbacks, and I was about to say even, Bull, to your question, was towards the end, being involved in the system is one thing, having the responsibility to call the plays, and then the Saturday night, you're basically alone before the game, so within your own brain, within your own space, you could think through what you want to do and stuff. Now with these microphones, okay, and the radio in your head, okay, for a concussed person who doesn't want noise and anxiety in there, okay, that's a challenge, and it was a challenge for me at the end of my career, and it's a challenge for young quarterbacks right now, because advice we think helps, okay, and it does at the right time, but there's a time and a place for advice, and then there's another time and a place where you're just on your own, brothers, okay, and that's in the rectangle. And everybody binging in my ear, okay, and then all of us, look, if the field's right here, okay, I don't want to be looking to the sideline 8 seconds before the snap's going off, okay, with, oh my God, they're going to blitz. I see you, dog. All right, I got that. I got it. Let me think through the process and make sure you got it too, okay? I know you're coming. I got to get with eye contact and in 7 seconds, you know, you and me to be on the same page, hoping that the new left tackle or coming back from injury left tackle has it covered. So that made it more, that makes it to me, albeit it appears like it helps with da-da-da-da-da in your ear, that makes it really hard for me, for I think the young quarterbacks. And then where I would want to coach up, and I'm having fun hanging around high school programs and high school quarterbacks and college programs with 16, 17, 18-year-old young quarterbacks, and trying to teach them the core mechanics of the X's and O's. Understanding your position as good as you understand it. Understanding coverages, understanding what you're doing up at the fronts and stuff, offensive and defensive lines. Heck, when they play a 4-3 under, okay, reduced to the weak side, 80% of the time it's going to be weak side rotation or man coverage. That was true when Paul Brown, okay, was running in the league. It was true all through the last 50 years of it. And when you could coach and those kids know that type stuff, now you could, I think, more prepared to play. And some coaches actually aren't coaching kids today to groom them knowledge-wise, and I think that hurts their progress as much as us. Then now we throw them out there, and they're not really as ready because they mentally weren't taught. And you guys know sometimes there's a lot of really good coaches. I mean, and there's a lot of coaches that are in it because of nepotism. They got the right friends, you know, and there's a balance. And if you're a young quarterback who's in the wrong advice system, I mean, we're trusting people at that age. We want to know, so you could go down a rabbit hole that is not necessarily your fault.
Bernie, by the way, you got to check out Jason's son. He's playing 8th grade football out in Avon Lake.
I'll send you.
He
had the game of his life.
He was looking like Lyle Alzado last night in the 8th grade game.
Throwing kids around in the backfield. Wyatt tellering a kid down the field at right guard.
I love it.
It was awesome. I'll show you the clips later. But when you're talking about play calling, it made me think of something. When you're going into week one, do you call week one differently than everything else? Just for like, I want to put this on tape so that week 7 opponent has to look at this. You know what I'm saying? Is there a cat and mouse game? Is there anything different about your first game of the season to put certain things on film just to give future opponents something to think about.
So, Jason, you're right on point with that. That's like 1A in the Bernie Kosar handbook of putting together your system, your philosophy, and then what you do in terms of strategizing to win. And we even talked about it the last couple weeks here. I really sucked in preseason when I did play because the whole art was deception, putting things on film, trying to develop a toughness, but absolutely putting personnel groups, motions, shifts in place that I had zero intention of running in games 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that I knew you were going to practice it. I knew you were going to focus on it. I was going to chat about it, play it up, look like I randomly made a stupid statement on air or in a press conference, so you guys had to write it, and I know who exactly would be putting it down into Dallas and stuff, and, through the Cleveland connection, so he doesn't look like it's a plant. Yeah. Okay, and you absolutely do that. So I already would have been doing it for the Cowboys this week. Okay, so now it comes in, and now what are you going to do? And what did I save for this game in particular? Because Marty Schottenheimer said, it's only one game of 16 back then, one game of 17. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But even as players, we love that first game. We want that first game. 1-0 is way better than 0-1, just psychologically and stuff. Obsessed on that, and I had those plays for this game. And then for sure, knowing Jacksonville's next and Doug Peterson, and I was his roommate, I got, some of the things that they think. So absolutely, you're setting it up for the next couple weeks. And then that it typically goes on your NFL film breakdowns in 3 and 4 game segments. So you know what you do in game 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, by game 5 won't be looked at in the statistical breakdown as game 1 was. So now you could reinvent some things again off of that.
When you look at the offense, right, we've come from a traditional running style offense where you had Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and you had the powerful offensive line with the guards up front. Back in your day when you played, there was a point in time where it transitioned from, hey, I'm gonna lean on Kevin Mack, and I'm gonna lean on some of those other running backs you had too, where I wouldn't say it was a complete passing game, but that's what you guys wanted to do. You knew that was a big part of what you guys were as you evolved as a quarterback. What does that look like for the Cleveland Browns? Because all intents and purposes, they've said they've wanted to go to a more Deshaun Watson throw-centric pass game. What steps do you take in going from a run team to a team that is going to lean on the quarterback a little more to make plays?
Yeah, so that's also why I'm super looking forward to the initial start of the season and the offense and how we come out against the Cowboys, because just like I was talking about, and look, even to this day, I have the reputation as all I want to do is throw, mad bomber, down the field throws. But again, I did believe in those throws 8 to 10 times a game. But there's 60 to 70 plays in a game, hopefully 70. And if I throw 10 bombs, I would love to just run Kevin Mack, Ernest Biner, okay, over you, 60 other plays, okay? So a lot of it was talk, to kind of get you to think I'm going to be throwing bombs and then really going to run right at you against a reduced light box, where the guys don't want to hit the hole and stuff. So that type of kind of mindset, I hope that there's a balance of us with the Cowboys and stuff, because with the game on Sunday, I'm actually looking forward to see how we come out. And when you have all the talk we've been having about the O-line and the injuries and who's coming back and how do you start a game off. And last year we started some games off with some negative plays where the defense with some pick sixes on short, safe throws. Hey, let's come out. We saved some nice trick plays. We got some cute little motions and shifts. I'm a big fan of that stuff, big fan of it, at the right time and place. And you defensive guys, you also know we got line issues. You know we got problems. So you also know that in the coaching handbook it says, okay, don't make a mistake early, come out short, let's get some short, quick throws, get our confidence, get our positiveness going, get our belief, and get used to
the rhythm. Yeah.
So you're squatting, you're coming, your hands are up in the air as rushers and stuff. So you get the tip balls, you get you dudes squatting on us. So actually, what I want to do when I really want to run the ball and beat you up, okay, which is ultimately I think still a core part of us, and it helps the quarterback and offense get into it, is I actually think safe early is throwing a deep ball. Okay, where you block people up, you just know it. You're gonna throw it outside. I show my arm off. I try to hit it. Okay, but it now makes the defense expand. It makes you start thinking about it. Now I could run it, and I could then start working in my quick little plays and stuff with you thinking I'm going deep. So I really like to see us do that. I think that helps Deshaun come back from the inactivity from the rehab. And again, I still visualize goodness when I was playing to your Saturday night before the game. And Deshaun, I like myself, I want to visualize him in that second half of the Baltimore game and him making plays like that.
Bernie, Deshaun, speaking of Deshaun, when the Browns first traded for him, our expectations for his play were up here. He had been a superstar in Houston. We expected superstar play. We haven't gotten that here. He's been injured. He's been suspended. And when he's played, he hasn't played great, at least in my opinion. What were your expectations? Have they been lowered? Is that fair? Should we expect less from him, at least initially in the season? Or should our expectations still be way high, at least at some point in this season?
Yeah, great fair question. There's no question that all of us, fans, us, people on a team, maybe not people on a team, but the majority of people absolutely obsess on the individual, even individual stats, and the Pro Bowl, All-Pro greatness type stats that we want to see. I really saying this not as his marketing rep and not to cover or anything, because I absolutely believe this. I had to have the mentality, and you have to check your ego, or you have to make your ego believe that the greatest thing is just about winning. Okay, I believe the W's are more important than the stats, and we all say that. But at the end of the day, when Jace, you're getting drilled with, hey, you only threw for 200 yards and you were 50%. Hey, but we won. Yep. Okay, it's going to look nice on Sunday, but it could be windy and it could be off, and we got linemen that are coming back. So in his head, and for us as fans, just winning, okay? And if you get comfortable with just W's, and again, since he's come, I think starting, he's been 8-4 as a starting quarterback. If we win 2 games of every 3 he starts, we will be probably winning our division for sure in the playoffs. And that type of mindset of not trying to statistically be and compete up there with Patrick Mahomes, but just mindset of competing of the Jimmy Johnson line, somehow, some way, figure out a way to get a W. And if he has that mindset, and us fans, and I really believe the organization, the team has that. That's the mindset to have the team flourish.
All right, Bernie, you're going to be back with us Monday.
Yes, sir.
Next week. It'll be fun to actually talk about a game on Monday.
Yeah, I'm excited for the real games. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you later. Always great to talk with Bernie. Mike, go ahead.
Awesome. We'll see Bernie back on Monday. Thanks again, Bernie. New sponsor alert on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Prize Picks is now part of Cleveland's #1 online daily sports show. Prize Picks is also America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active users. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks puts their members first, so withdrawals are safe, fast, and secure. When your picks hit, you get your money as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks also invented Flex Play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can even double your money if one of your picks doesn't hit. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That is LOCKEDONNFL as the code on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when your play of $5 or more hits. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game the way you want. Well, let's talk a little Gardens before we jump back to the Browns. Disappointing loss last night. Still took the series against Kansas City, but the big question I had after last night's game.
Yeah.
Are you getting to the point where you may not trust Ben Livley in a playoff series?
You know, he's been mostly good this year. He's had a few bad starts of late, but everybody in their rotation's been up and down, except for really Boyd and Cobb, but they barely pitched. So he didn't pitch well yesterday. I think it's going to be interesting, and obviously a lot of it will be based on how the guys perform the final 24, what do we got, 24 days left in the season, 25 days left in the season. I think there's a chance Ben Lively's not in the rotation for the playoffs. I mean, we know Williams and Bybee will be in there.
What you mean?
Don't do that now because Boyd and Cobb pitch well as of late.
Lively might not be in the playoff rotation.
It's a possibility,
If Cobb and Boyd are both great down the stretch as they've been so far, and Lively's shaky.
How many more starts they got?
Each of them probably has either 4 or 5.
I don't know if that is that enough sample size to say, I trust him over a long season.
Well, if he gets his head beat in 4 more times, he's not in there. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't either, but still, if the other two is get more strikeouts,
he's been. We agree.
It don't matter.
We agree that Lively's been their most consistent pitcher. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
I still think Bybee's been overall, but
Bybee's been the best. Out of all of them.
Here's the thing, guys. I don't care who's been the most consistent pitcher all year.
It's about who's pitching
well. It's about who's pitching well at the end of the season.
I agree with that statement,
And
too.
if Boyd, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying if Boyd and Cobb continue to pitch as well as they have, then Lively could easily be the odd man out.
I feel like Cobb is in it anyways.
He is.
Yeah, I feel like it's really down to Boyd and Lively.
Absolute sure thing.
No, I do. They traded for him.
Cobb has more postseason success.
I think
he's only pitched the postseason once.
He's had more success than Boyd. he pitched well. He pitched well for the Rays against these guys.
He has 2 playoff starts.
That was over a decade
one was
ago.
Good, one was bad.
Yeah. Listen,
he's got a longer track record in general.
I think Cobb is probably going to be in the rotation. Probably. I don't think it's a guarantee. First of all, he's barely pitched. We don't know if he's even going to be healthy.
Well, you got to pick one, or Boyd or Cobb one.
I think if the playoffs started today, Cobb and Boyd would be in, and Lively would be out.
Wow.
You can't put him in the bullpen?
That's
Hold on.
That's messed up.
I'm sorry. I took he said the roster.
No.
He'll be on the roster.
Okay. All right. I ain't got a problem with that.
You know, one of those guys is going to go to the pen. I'm saying if it were today, we got 3.5 weeks. It could change.
I think today, I still think Lively's in.
I still think Lively's in, too.
Boyd's pitched much better than Lively of late.
Say it one more time. What happened now?
He has, yes. I still think Lively makes it over today. Now, 3 weeks from now, that could be different.
Yeah.
But right now, today, I still think Lively's in the rotation.
You trust Lively in a playoff game more than Boyd?
I don't know that I trusted Lively a month ago.
I don't trust
That's messed up because I did.
But I kept saying, we kept talking about it. Like, he keeps proving you wrong. He keeps proving you wrong.
Y'all keep saying he's going to fall off a cliff at some point.
Let's face it.
Fell off yet.
The guardrail is down.
I'm telling you, he trending in that direction right now.
The reality is that for Boyd and Lively, and probably even Cobb, at the first sign of trouble, they're out in a playoff game anyway. It's not like they're going 6 innings.
No. You gave up a single.
Lively was always a 4 and fly guy.
Yeah.
Come on, for the playoffs.
Boyd and Lively.
Come sit next to me.
Whoever's the 4th starter between Boyd and Lively, max twice through the rotation, through the lineup.
Yeah,
max.
I like when he said trust. I said, there is no such thing in the playoffs as trust.
No.
That's like going to Las Vegas with a girlfriend. That ain't trust. If I ain't on no paperwork, that don't count. What do you mean?
What's nutty is how much faith and stock we're putting in Gavin Williams, who has not pitched well at all.
No,
until his last
start. I would say his last start was good.
His last start was excellent.
Okay, well, you say you got 4 more? if he goes
4 or
2 and
5.
if he goes
Probably
2
4.
and 2, like too good, too
The record.
bad.
Oh, okay.
No,
So,
too good, too
yeah,
bad.
Gavin Williams is in.
He's in the rotation.
He's in.
So
Bibby's going game 1. Williams going
Wait a
game
minute.
2. No doubt.
So you mean to tell me
Yeah.
if Gavin Williams stuck it up for the next 4 starts, but Matthew Boyd lit it up, they would still keep
if Gavin Williams
in there?
had, it was, I mean, absolutely awful the rest of the season, it could change.
Right.
But
Okay.
here's the bottom line. You got to be pitching well. That's a big part of it. Another big part of it is stuff. That's what
Well, he got
Gavin
that.
Williams. It has top-notch stuff. Cobb, Boyd,
Do you trust him in the
Lively.
playoff
Well,
series?
who are you getting a closeout game from? Like, if you're gonna play him in 2, that means who? Like, if you need to close,
Cobb
the
is
series-
probably going to pitch game 3. If I had to bet right now, Cobb pitches game 3, and then either Boyd or Lively game 4.
I agree with that.
But the closeout game, it's hard to say because it depends how long the series goes.
I mean,
So
you could bring Bobby back on short rest.
I don't think they should do that. I think
that's
that's a
what I was
mistake.
getting at.
Didn't the Yankees do that to us like 2 years
Yeah.
They continuously do that to us.
they
trying to
pitched Garrett Cole in 3 games.
Garrett
The third-
Cole's a veteran. Tanner Bibby's barely pitched. He pitched for a year and change in the
They
majors.
put
Tito
that-
would not do it with Bieber when Bieber was coming off injury. I thought they should have gone with him
They-
on short rest, and they didn't.
I don't like short rest. Generally, it does not work. We saw what
Depends
happened.
on who your other option is.
I mean, any idiot out there that has criticized Corey Kluber for Game 7 of the World Series when he went on short rest like 14 times.
right.
I still can't believe there's people that crap. Kluber, for all the talk of Andrew Miller, they don't even come close to the World Series without Corey Kluber in
Absolutely.
2016.
Yep.
And
And neither one of those guys were the same after that.
never. No, they were not. And Kluber by Game 7 was shot. I mean, he could barely throw the ball. But I don't like going on 3 short rests. I don't like
so
it
you might
in
see
general.
Lively. So you might have
Yeah.
to see Lively.
You're
in
going
a
to
Game
see
7.
either Lively or Cobb. No, Game 7 would be your third starter.
Cobb.
Probably be Cobb.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lively
Well,
or
it
Boyd?
depends. It depends. Is it Game 7 in the ALCS?
Yeah.
Now that you've already played a series, so it's a different Game 1 starter. A lot of times, in Game 7, you'll end up with the top starter because he's not pitching until Game 3 or 4 anyway, once it's the next round
Right.
of the series.
The
But-
opening round, though, it's typically your Game 3 starter is your
Yeah.
Game 7 starter.
Right.
So you say today, if the playoffs
Today,
if the playoffs started today, who's your 4?
My 4 would be Bibby Game 1, Williams Game 2, Cobb Game 3, Boyd Game 4.
And you say Lively.
Lively in 4. I'd have Lively in 4.
I got Lively, man.
I want a guy
Today?
in
Like
the
started today? I'm
in
taking
the playoffs,
Boyd.
and I was never a Boyd believer.
I'm taking Boyd.
Boyd can strike guys out. Lively doesn't strike guys out. I want strikeout pitchers
I
in
mean,
the playoffs.
10 days from now, I may have a different answer.
I agree with that statement too.
Yeah.
But right now,
We're
Boyd
here.
on fire
I
right
cannot
now.
believe we are here. That's wild.
Yeah.
Y'all
It is.
can't, y'all can't say y'all. I don't know how y'all can sit there and say that after just seeing Lively's last 2 and seeing Boyd's last 2.
I
How
mean,
could you? How could you not go with him?
It's 2 starts, right? Like if he gets,
I'm going off. You y'all
he
just
gave-
told me that we got to see how they do it when going into the playoffs. We're going off of that right there. How they did.
if he gets hit around another time or a time and a half, then okay. Like all right, you can get up out of it.
Listen. I'm a Ben Lively fan. He was to me was definitely the most consistent one. Like when he was in there, I was like, all right, we good. Like I trusted him over a lot of other people. But right now, I don't. If we start tomorrow, I don't know.
It is kind of scary that for him to like. I don't like pitching to contact hitters or pitchers for some reason.
Like you're facing the best lineups in the playoffs.
Yeah, like
I'd like to see Ben Lively splits against the playoff teams and the non-playoff teams. That'd be interesting to see. I haven't looked at that.
I'm sure.
One other thing from last night, it was good to see Kyle Manzardo actually play first base. However, the reason he did is because Josh Naylor's kind of banged up. Jason, you know anything new about that?
No, I don't know.
I mean, I know he's not going on the IL, at least right now, but it's something to keep an eye on down the stretch. It's smart. I mean, now that you want to clinch the division as soon as possible so you can give guys some rest. Now, you also want to try to get the number 1 seed, which is still very much in play, because the number 1 seed means you have home field advantage.
You get a bye.
These next games.
1 and 2 get a bye.
I want that record.
Top 2 get a bye, but
These
number
next-
1 gets home field throughout the American League playoffs.
These
and
next
that's what you wanna
games
do
is
there.
big.
I mean, if you want a Game 7 in Houston or a Game 7 or in New York or something, give me. I want Game 7 here.
Yeah.
They a half a game out of.
By the way, last night, on a non-Guardians related note, so last night, the Cubs had a pitcher by the name of Shota Imanaga, right? He's got a no-hitter through 7 innings. Did you guys hear about this?
I saw something on our
They pulled.
I'm signing anybody's name that start with a sh.
Yeah,
Shoto Onano, Shohei Ohtani. Give me one of those show guys.
Get a show. So he's got no hitter through 7, 95 pitches. They take him out of the game with a no hitter.
Mm-hmm. What was the
now
score?
This is not uncommon these days. They were up big. It was the Cubs were up big.
Okay.
So they take him out, and they end up pitching a combined no hitter last night. I didn't even watch the end of the game because I didn't care. Once the starting pitcher comes out, a combined no hitter should not even count as a no hitter.
Nope.
It's not a real no-hitter. You brought in 2 relief pitchers. It's part of the specialness of a no-hitter is that the pitcher was able to throw however many pitches. And it pisses me off because I understand when it's a young pitcher or if it's an older pitcher coming off injury. But Imanaga is not young. He's not old, and he's not coming off injury.
But if
let him pitch.
If he's at 95 through 7, he's not going to make it to 9.
Why not?
If he gets 15 pitches through
that's
the
110.
8, that's 110.
Yeah.
He's going to finish 125.
Why not?
Who throws that many pitches anymore?
And pitchers are hurt more than ever, Jason.
I'm just saying.
They're more conservative with pitchers than ever, and yet they're hurt more than ever.
I don't disagree with that point, but they're not going to let him out there for 125, 100.
It's stupid.
That's in a best-case scenario.
Yeah.
That's 15 pitches,
Can you put that in your clause? Can you put that in your contract?
He didn't even seem pissed. Pitchers don't get pissed anymore.
You can't be like, listen, if
I have a no-hitter through 7, you have to let me finish.
You got to let me finish.
I would want that.
Can you imagine if, somebody tried to take Bob Gibson or Nolan Ryan?
He'd have punched him in the neck.
Or one of those guys.
He would have.
Shank.
He would have punched him anyway.
I mean, are you kidding me? These pitchers don't even get angry anymore. I'd be so. If I was a pitcher and a manager tried to take me out of a no-hitter, I'd want to punch him in the face.
You'd do the Trevor Bauer, throw it over center field.
I don't want to hurt other people. I'm not a sadist like Trevor Bauer.
I threw it into the fountain.
I feel like the 90s Braves didn't even have coaches, bro. I think Maddox and Smoltz and them used to just decide when they was throwing the ball.
Well, Bobby Cox was a good manager, but yes, you're right. They kind of controlled a lot of themselves. Go ahead, Mike.
I want to get to the last 2 Browns topics. I want to make sure we get that in. You all good on the Guardians? Any other final thoughts? I liked how this.
No, good series against the Dodgers
John
this weekend.
Kinsey need to be back in their lineup so I can get my 20 home runs.
He's not probably going to get to 20. I'm excited to watch Shohei Ohtani play against the Guardians this weekend.
Look at this.
He's not going. He needs what? 8 more?
7.
7.
Doesn't he got 13? I think he got 13.
I mean, 7. That's a lot.
Put him back in, man.
Put him back in. What?
Why is he out?
That's a lot. I don't know.
Well, Manzardo's been getting a lot of the DH reps.
Yeah.
So that's kind of taken away from
He
John
playing
Kinsey.
first base now.
And they need to send Tyler Freeman and Daniel Schneemann out of here. They both stink. Let's go.
All right. Quick reminder, if you want more Guardians talk, I know we've done less this week because the Browns are back.
Sure.
Bull and Zach. Twice a week through the Ultimate Guardian Show, Mondays and Fridays
9
on
a.m.
the YouTube channel.
Most of the time at 9 a.m. Probably be 9 a.m. tomorrow.
So make sure you guys check that out. He'll do a full preview, I'm assuming, of this Dodger series.
Big series.
What you can
Excited about
expect
it, yeah.
for both teams. Pretty big series for both teams.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys tune into that. One note for this weekend's game against Dallas in terms of the Browns. We talked about Daron Bland. We talked about Nick Chubb. Both those guys are out. Those are the 2 marquee names who won't be playing in terms of injuries, at least as far as Thursday afternoon at 12:37 p.m. Who's a bigger loss in this game for their respective team? Nick Chubb not being there for the Browns, obviously their top running back, or Daron Bland not being there for Dallas, who is their top defensive back?
Nicholas Jamal Chubb. I think because of the simple fact that he was a consistent thing. What's the best friend of a quarterback that's coming off an injury? A strong run game. If you got a running back in there, that takes the pressure off of Deshaun. Now I think Deshaun has to go out there and try to beat this guy off fresh off an injury. But if Nick Chubb's out there, at the end of the day, you hand that ball off, he makes things happen. I think on the Cowboys side, they still have their cornerback number 1. Diggs is there. He's back. And I like Jay Lou in the slot. Yes, they got a rookie corner, but there's so many different ways you can get past that. You can just cloud that side and play cover 2, and he'll be fine there, So I think it's other ways to get around it. I do think that the Nick Chubb, not having Nick Chubb there, something that's consistent that you're going to get a good production out of, I think that's a bigger miss than Daron Bland.
My initial reaction was it's got to be Nick Chubb. And then when I thought about it a little more, I went the other way with Bland because the Browns, we don't know, are going to de-emphasize the run a little bit in this offense. They're going to throw it a lot more. And Bland being out on the other side, the Cowboys are starting a 5th-round rookie who could be great. Kalen Carson could be fine, but he's certainly not Daron Bland at this point. So I think the Browns are going to attack that on the outside.
With who?
Right away.
With who?
From the Brown side?
Yeah, with who?
If Jerry Jeudy can't be a fifth-round corner,
If he can't
we're
be
in
a
trouble.
fifth-round corner?
Who in the slide?
Your boy.
Your man.
Oh, okay.
Your man's them.
That's who gonna eat.
Well, look,
That's who gonna eat.
All right, so 1 vote for Chubb, 1 vote for Bland. What
this
say
is
you?
easy, Bland. Like, come
Y'all
on, like
sick.
they got the difference. What the Browns look like, that's like saying, all right, Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson. When Denzel Ward ain't playing, it's a different game plan, right? When Greg Newsome wasn't in the game, hey, listen, all that Cam Mitchell talk, all he does is catch slot fades. We need Greg Newsome back. Sorry, G Newsome.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I saw it in the preseason too. I said, y'all might need
y'all might need
to chill out on the
chill out on that
thing.
G stuff. I signed that peace treaty. I sent him an email and a ringtone. Like, I'm gonna tell you what. No, Nick Chubb, I ain't seen Nick Chubb in weeks. Like, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm missing.
If it was prime Nick Chubb,
I mean, but it's been so long. Like, it's like
you know what?
I didn't see him all last year. I didn't see him all
how
this
did we
year.
do?
We went to the playoffs.
In the run game.
Man, we don't.
We had people on the set saying they were elite at running the football.
Oh, God.
Mine and Bull's head left our shoulders.
That elite running game.
Oh, my God.
Hey, now I'm gonna go with Bland, and this is the point where I get. Listen, no, unacceptable.
Yeah,
y'all should be talking about this. Hey, Deshaun Watson, bro, you got to eat. There's a rookie over there.
What do you think they gonna do?
There's a rookie.
Do you two really think Dallas is gonna say, you know what, we gonna play man to man and just give him no help?
No,
what do you think?
But you gotta
because the only person to fear is Amari Cooper. And guess what, Diggs? Hey, don't worry, I will follow Amari. You just gotta worry about you.
So you just like this is 2 of you. So Mikey and Tyvis y'all think Jerry Jeudy is mid?
That's not what I'm saying. Well, that's not what I'm saying. But you got to also recognize, Diggs, we paid you to be a number 1 corner, so we not helping you at all. We sliding everybody over there to this 5th round. What are you talking about? We're not about to lead this man. We're not about to lead this man.
Diggs has been out for a year, as Mike said.
So what? I'm not about to lead this man by himself. No.
All right, let me listen. These guys have all been yelling and screaming for a while. As someone who's not much of a yeller and screamer, let me jump in.
The voice of reason over here.
All right, Tyvis is wrong. We know that. Jason,
I hate going against Tyvis.
Yeah, I know.
I get nervous going against Tyvis.
Jason
he's
and
normally
G
right on these.
Are wrong too because they got the right answer, but they have the wrong reasons. I was stunned beyond belief that G did not say Nick Chubb. Stunned. Let me say that. But here's why it's Daron Bland. When throughout the whole offseason, when the preseason started, the Browns knew that Nick Chubb was not going to be ready for week 1. So the Browns were able to prepare to start the season without Nick Chubb. The Cowboys, they didn't know Daron Bland was going to get hurt. He got hurt during the preseason. So you can't, by the time he got hurt, what were you going to do? There was nobody to, there was no Deontay, and I know Deontay Foreman's not a superstar, but you brought in Deontay Foreman because Nick Chubb was coming off injury and you knew he was going to miss the start of the season. Otherwise, you wouldn't have signed Deontay Foreman. The Cowboys were not able to bring anybody in. So that, to me, is the biggest difference. Plus, I don't know how good Nick Chubb is at this point. Daron Bland exploded on the scene last year as a rookie. And I also know that the guy replacing Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford, is at least an adequate NFL player. I know that. He showed it last year.
Y'all was against him all last year.
Tyvis, I didn't say he was great. I didn't say he was a superstar. I said he was an adequate NFL player. The guy replacing Daron Bland, I don't even know if he can play. That guy could be out of football in 2 months, for all I know. Now, he might be great, but he also could be out of football in 2 months. He's a fifth-round pick. He's got nothing guaranteed. So for those reasons,
I do think that y'all are undervaluing what game planning is.
Yeah.
Like, I think
they do have a good DC and Mike Zimmer.
I do think.
Well, the way you're making it sound, I could go out there and play corner and not have enough help around.
Right? They would just tell you to play cover 2.
Well, yeah, but then how come? If it's so easy, why do guys get burned all the time?
Because there's holes in cover 2.
It is.
And my problem is I haven't seen the offense together, and I'm a little worried about what it's going to look like. You mean to tell me you about to come out here and just run quick game all game? Okay, be aggressive. I would tell my corners, be aggressive. because if you get beat, we got the safeties playing over the top. Just undercut everything. They're gonna run slants and drags and stuff like that. Okay, that's fine.
If they waited all year and switched heaven and earth to move these coordinators around to run drags and slants, I'm gonna be totally upset.
Well, I'm curious. I wanted to ask Bernie about this. We didn't get to it. The Browns go into this choice routes with the receivers that they're going to run routes based on coverage. It feels like it has an incredibly high ceiling and a crazy low floor, right? Like,
oops, I didn't see the right thing, Jason.
So I'm with you on that. I'm a little hesitant because they haven't had a ton of time
Especially
together.
Cedric Tillman. We're trusting him on those plays?
Yep.
So you're coming to the line. You tell me that you're coming to the line, and these guys that haven't had a lot of reps together, Deshaun and the receiver is going to be on the same page. They're going to know which routes to run based on
sight adjustments, right?
See.
Just like
that has me, and I wanted to get to that with Bernie. He just ran out of time.
Yeah, that is that. Hey, listen, that could go a lot of ways.
It could
wrong.
be great.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be beautiful.
Yeah,
and it could be disaster.
All right, Mike, do you want to weigh in on this?
Yeah, I think it's close. I went with Bland for your point, Bull. They have had much or fewer, less. This happened way later. The Browns have known Nick Chubb's not going to be there. Yeah, I couldn't think of the right word.
Yeah.
The fact that this was sprung on them the week before the game prep week, and the guys behind, like, they could have brought Stephon Gilmore back had this happened earlier in the summer. He signs with Minnesota. They could have made a bigger emphasis on drafting a cornerback if this had happened when Nick Chubb had happened, and they knew this was going to be an issue. Because of the fact this happened so late in camp, you're kind of stuck with who you got. And now your number 2 is your number 1. Your number 3 is your number 2. Your number 4 is your number 3.
And do we know how
this happy offense? I think that's
do we know how this rookie did in the preseason?
I have no idea.
He was a 5th-round pick. Tyvus, do you know where he went to college? Before we asked how he did, do you even know?
I don't know. I don't even know.
That's my point.
Where did he go?
Appalachian State.
App State.
Actually,
Kalen Carson.
I looked it up this morning. I don't remember now.
Yeah.
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, Appalachian State. What's the difference?
That's crazy.
They're both in the Appalachians.
Yeah.
Hey, you know this. I can know the season is there because there's an internal flip flopping that goes on. I'm like, hold on, man. Everybody picking the Browns to win like this is easy. Didi was like, yeah, it's gonna be a game. It's not even gonna be a guy close. And I'm like,
you sure we're all picking the Browns?
Well, we got to. Hey, we're coming up.
We'll find out tomorrow. Yeah. And actually, it's a little good preview. Yeah. Reminder, we have a 2-minute warning show. It's back. It happens every game the Browns play. We go live at the 2-minute warning. We'll go through the live end of the game. You get some reaction, raw reaction to the end of the game, and then you get some analysis from myself, G. Bush, and Earl afterwards. That is back. Starts this Sunday, so make sure you guys tune in on our YouTube page. A little dual screen action. But we're going to wrap up with this today.
Yeah.
The AFC North, we've talked about it many, many times. A gauntlet, all 4 teams competitive. This is their records last year. Steve, take this full when you get a sec. Which team will have the biggest change in record? Positive or negative from the AFC last season to this season? We'll wrap this up with giving our AFC North picks. But which team has the biggest change in wins, positively or negatively?
This was easy for me.
I thought it was easy
Jason.
too.
You start too.
I said Cincy.
That's what I said. Cincy, just because of the Burrow factor.
What about Baltimore going down?
It could be that. That was number 2.
I see Cincy winning 3 games, opposed to I think Baltimore might lose 2 less games.
Okay,
they might win 2 less games.
So you got Bengals +3.
Yeah,
they could be +4.
They could be. Yeah,
I got the Steelers -3.
I could see the Steelers -3. I mean,
I
even though
could see
Tomlin
that
never finishes under 500.
It's, whatever you want to say about Russ, I do think their quarterback position is significantly better this year than
Oh yeah.
Russ is not as awful as everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not good, but he's not the like.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you always crapping on this guy. I even last year, I don't think he was that bad.
I mean,
he beat the Browns.
6 touchdowns and 7 or 8, 6 picks or something.
He beat the Browns.
He's the Jed Wills of quarterbacks.
I agree with you guys. I think it's the Bengals. I think that I have the Bengals +3.
So how many games they won last year?
That would mean they win 12 games this year.
Yeah, I got them 12.
They could win 13.
Now, there's some questions on their defense.
Yeah.
And we don't know if Jamar Chase is going to play week 1.
I think he will.
Although I'm predicting he signs
Was
today.
he back at practice yesterday?
He was.
I don't think that would make them lose.
Well, they'll still beat New England, or at least they should. But they play Kansas City week 2.
Christian Gonzalez is good, though.
Now, the big advantage that the Bengals have this year, First of all, we know all 4 of these teams are pretty close, right? They're all very talented.
Yes.
They're all pretty close.
Yes.
I would say the Steelers are a notch below the other 3, in my opinion.
I would put them 4th.
Right? So I think the other 3, Browns, Ravens, Bengals, are all pretty close. What the Bengals have is a big advantage over the Browns and Ravens is they're playing – people say fourth place schedule. That matters for 3 games. You play the same teams except for 3 games. But those 3 games, the Bengals are playing 3 shit teams. Mm-hmm. And the Browns and Ravens are playing much tougher. Sure, you're right. You never know. On paper, the Browns and Ravens in those extra 3 games are playing much tougher teams.
Who do the Bengals have in those? Do you remember?
I believe it's the Titans, the Panthers, and the
what's the other division?
The last place team and the Patriots.
Oh, that's a big advantage,
right? Like the Browns got to play. The Browns and the Ravens, I think, play the Bills and the Dolphins, where the Bengals are playing the Patriots.
Being good this year.
You can see who being good?
I can see the Titans being like a decent team this year.
But the Panthers and the Patriots,
no.
Getting to play those teams, that could be the difference in a division that's so stacked. So that's why I think the Bengals have the biggest move.
So you said +3, Bull.
I got +3 Bengals.
Which means the Bengals would have 12 wins.
Yes.
What was your take on Baltimore?
I got them. I actually got it tied. I got them -3.
Sheesh.
So they'd be at 10.
Yeah.
So you have the Browns.
I have the Browns at -2.
9. So you have the Browns finishing 3rd in the division.
Yes, I know people can get mad, but I got to call it like I see it.
Gee, how do you see this all? I just want to go around and see where everyone stands before we dive in.
I got the Steelers -3.
So Steelers at 10 wins, 7 wins.
7 wins. I got the. I actually had the Browns +1 win.
So Browns at 12.
And then I got the Bengals +4.
+4.
So that'd be 13 for Cincinnati.
And then I got Baltimore -2.
So you have 13, 12, and 11 in the same division.
Yep.
Damn. I could see that.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
It ain't.
Jason, how do you see this?
That's not far off from 13, 11, and 10.
Yep.
I would say +4 on the Bengals, -3 on the Ravens, Browns -1, 2, and Steelers -1 or 2.
And Tyvis, so you had the Browns 3rd.
Yeah.
Cincinnati +3, 12 wins. Baltimore -2, Browns -1, Pittsburgh -1.
So 3 of the 4 of you had the Browns in 3rd. G, you had them in 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of us have all 4 teams with a winning record again.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the Steelers finishing 9 and 8.
You had 7 wins for the Steelers. 8,
Yeah.
7?
No, I'm sorry. I got the Steelers finishing 8 and 9, so under 500, which I shouldn't predict.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, if they.
And listen, the Browns remain the toughest team to predict because we don't know what the Browns. Like everybody's got, if the quarterback is injured, it's a different story.
Sure.
Every team, well, not every team, most teams have that. If you have a decent quarterback, whereas to me, the Browns and the Jets are the 2 teams that, like both those teams could win 13, 14 games, or they could win 8 or 9. It just depends how good the quarterback play is.
If I told you that Deshaun Watson was completely healthy for 17 complete weeks, what's the record?
13-4.
To me, that's not enough. I need to know if he's playing at a high level.
I think that's the cat. That's the reason the question is
13-4.
The caveat is, if I believe completely healthy, the numbers will be there. He's yet to play a full year that he's been absolutely garbage.
No, he hasn't.
If he's a full year, I'd put them in the 11-6, 12-5 range.
I think I'd say 11-6 if he's completely healthy for the whole year.
I agree.
13-4.
11-12 for me.
If you're telling me he's playing like the guy in Houston, they could win 14 games.
17-0.
Hey, no, for real. Like, if I get that back,
17-0.
You know,
it ain't no excuse. 17-0. Defense #1 and Deshaun playing like 17-0.
You know what? If he plays like Houston, I'll give him 15-2.
They could definitely. They'll be the favorites to win it all if he plays at that level.
Yeah.
If he's
pretty
good.
I don't know if they'll ever make him the favorites over the Chiefs, but they'll be right on par.
I mean,
with
that means they smoking people.
They should.
It's the NFL. You know.
Hey, listen, crazier things have happened. If I told you Deshaun had a great year, but the offense was mediocre, you'd probably say that's impossible. But nothing's impossible. everything's different year after year in the NFL.
Yep.
It could certainly happen.
He could play like Houston. Something happened to Myles Garrett.
Don't say that.
Oh, Lord.
Like that's it. You mess around and get 4 or 5 wins. Like Myles Garrett is the linchpin to the whole entire cookie operation.
You get Deshaun back playing like Houston, Miles playing like DPOI, and 11 sacks, and Greg Newsome leading the team. Man,
and Nick Chubb with
Martin
that.
Emerson going to the Pro Bowl.
And Nick Chubb coming back with 1,000 yards in like 10 days.
Nobody can stop it.
It's over.
Wouldn't that be something if all of us predictions
Well, we
was right?
don't want Mike's bold prediction to come true. Mike's bold prediction is a problem.
No, just the yardage that he
The
threw out was
yardage.
the only
If
thing.
he would have said 1,100.
By the way, my bold prediction did not include yardage.
That's
right.
Added yardage.
That's right. That's fair. That's
That's
fair.
a caveat. Mine just said he finished second.
I know that, but then you said the yardage. And
Well,
that's
he
terrible.
Did say that. And
I was like, I was
if
doing
all
the
of
math.
us, if all of our bold predictions is right,
We're having a parade. There's
listen,
a parade.
Yeah, there's a good chance of a parade. Yes.
It's the Dallas. It's
forget
the
the
90s
parade. I
Cowboys.
was talking about it as a show, like we're Emmy, like
That's right.
like,
That's
this
an
is-
Emmy award for being
it's
right.
over.
By the way, the Chiefs are still going to win the Super Bowl this year, aren't they?
We're making our picks tomorrow. Don't give them away.
I don't know.
hey,
It's hard to pick
They're
against
playing
them.
tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ravens Chiefs tonight. Real quick.
Yeah.
We got super chats, but before we do that, I just want to mention this. It's going to be something I want to ask you guys if there's something we want to follow throughout the season or not.
Okay.
Dan Pizzuta of the 33rd team. Not sure, have you guys ever heard of Dan Pizzuta?
Never.
Name sounds familiar.
Never.
I think I've heard of him. He's got 10,000 followers on Twitter, writes for the 33rd team. They are starting a weekly quarterback rankings that's going to update after each week of the season.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the initial rankings, and you guys tell me if this is something we want to follow.
I like it.
I
And
like
we'll
it. I
we'll
would have
react
followed.
each
I'm going to
week or we
predict.
won't.
Can I predict where Deshaun is? We should predict that.
Yeah, before we do that,
28.
Stephen Ruiz for the Ringer also does this. Ruiz is a bigger name.
Yeah.
Do we want to do Pizzuta or Ruiz?
Do them both. Who cares?
All right, well, something we'll monitor throughout the week. I have Pizzuta's up right now, so we'll do Pizzuta.
That's not the podcast you sent me this morning, is it? That thing I listened to this morning? Is that this?
Stephen Ruiz. No, this is the list I'm going to tell you right now is different than
okay.
Ruiz.
All right.
All
I
right.
just want to make sure I didn't
Where's
have
your
any-
prediction of where he got? Where he's got
Where do you
Deshaun
think he
Watson?
has? It's 32 starting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Where do you think he has Deshaun Watson?
17.
24.
21.
I think Jason's the closest of you. Not 24. It can't be that low.
I got him
They
17.
disrespectful.
No, are you predicting where he's got him, or are you where you?
This
would
is
put him?
where do you think Dan Pizzuta
24.
has him on
17.
his?
17, 24, 21. I'm going to split the difference between G and Jason and go 19.
He has him 29, the lowest rated starting quarterback who's not a rookie.
Told you.
The only ones
told
below him,
Wow.
Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Bo
told you.
Nix.
That's absurd.
I told you.
Here's his list: 17 through 32.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jared Goff 17, Cousins 18, Richardson 19, Mayfield 20, Levis 21, Derek Carr 22, Brissett 23, Russell Wilson 24, Bryce Young 25, Sam Darnold 26, Gardner Minshew 27, Daniel Jones 28, Deshaun Watson 29,
That's ridiculous.
Caleb Daniels, Caleb Williams 30, Jaden Daniels 31.
He got
It
his
should have been
clicks.
exactly where I said 19.
Hey, he did what he needed to do. He got
I just
his
wasn't
clicks.
disrespectful enough. I knew
That-
he was down.
He
there.
got his clicks off.
I mean, Goff and Cousins should be ahead of him right now.
Yeah.
The rest of those guys is ridiculous.
But the Will Levis, the Bryce Young,
Gardner
the Anthony
Minshew,
Richardson, the Gardner
Sam
Minshew and
So-
Sam
So that's
Darnold.
why I'm
Russell
asking, do we
Wilson.
want to follow this throughout the
Yeah.
season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
follow.
watching car
Okay.
crashes.
You know what? We're going to do Pizzuta. We're going to do
Where did the
Dan's,
other guy have him?
24th.
Where did he say he had him?
24th. the other guy. I'd have him
Y'all looked at
19.
me like I was crazy when I said it.
I'd have him 19.
That's funny.
Let me real quick. Let me confirm. I'm pulling it up right now. I read this yesterday. I believe it's 24. I'm scrolling. Steve, do not reach out to
The reality
Pizzuta. We don't
is,
need Pizzuta. Yeah, he had Watson at
Deshaun
24.
has not played at a particularly high level in
Right.
3 years. I
Right.
get why they're down.
Right.
29 is ridiculous,
Yes,
though.
that
That's crazy.
That was actually fun.
Yeah.
He's out to lunch.
We were to do super chats. You got a minute and a half.
Yeah, super chats. We only have
All right.
two real quick.
Yeah.
Sean Iyer says, does Alex Wright get more snaps this season than Ogbo?
No.
No.
Yes.
I think as the year goes on,
More
he will.
snaps? Yeah.
Maybe
No.
not early in the season, but I think.
Ogbo has more of a skill set to get 11 sacks than.
No, I thought he said snaps. He said sacks?
He said snaps.
Yeah,
P,
snaps.
snaps.
Yes.
Reps, snaps. I think, yeah.
No, I got Alex Wright with more sacks.
No, actually, yes.
Wright,
no, Wright does get more snaps. Because he first to say he can stop the run.
Wright's going to have more snaps.
Yeah.
I think.
And then the other super chat comes from Reeve Herbst, who I don't think has ever sent a super chat before, so thanks, Reeve. Cedric Tillman reminds me of Brandon Marshall. Now, that's a smart super chatter. That's a smart super
That's
chatter.
a bold prediction.
Brandon Marshall was a 1,500-yard receiver in like 16 games.
Don't Brandon Marshall hold the record for most completions in a game?
Yes.
Most receptions.
Oh, most receptions.
Yeah, it's like 18.
Yeah, it was like 18.
I think it was 18.
A crazy game.
Yeah,
was that with Jay Cutler?
It was with Jay Cutler. In overtime, we're going to talk about the Browns' replacement for Jimmy Donovan in the booth, whether we like Andrew Siciliano being the new voice of the
if we
Cleveland
didn't
Browns.
like it, we were not going to say it.
It's overtime. You can say whatever the hell you want in overtime.
No, it's the good old boy system. You never
I take
bash
shots.
Another
I take
colleague.
shots at people in the media.
Well, that's you.
But I wouldn't take a shot at Siciliano.
See you in overtime.
Peace.